The second part of Henry VI. With the death of the good Duke Hvm Frey. Actus primus, scona prima. Flourish of trumpets, then hautboys. Enter King, Duke Humphrey, Salisbury, Warwick and Beaufort on the one side, the Queen, Suffolk, York, Somerset and Buckingham on the other. Suffolk, as by your high imperial majesty, I had in charge at my depart for France. As procurator to your excellence. To marry princes, Margaret for your grace. So in the famous ancient city, Tours. In presence of the kings of France, and Sicily, the Dukes of Orleans, Calabre, Brittany and Alençon, Sewen earls, 12 barons and 20 Rouen bishops. I ha performed my task, and was espoused. And humbly now vipon my bended knee. In sight of England, and her lordly peers. Deliver VP my title and the Queen. To your most gracious hands, that are the substance of that great shadow I did represent. The happiest gift that your Marquis gaw. The fairest Queen that your King received. King Suffolk arise, welcome Queen Margaret. I can express no kinder scene of than this kind kiss, O Lord that lends me life. Lend me a heart replete with thankfulness. For thou hast given me in this beauteous face a world of earthly blessings to my soul. If sympathy of Lau venite our thoughts. Queen, great King of England, and my gracious Lord. The mutual conference that my mind hath had. By day, by night, waking and in my dreams. In courtly company, or at my beads. With you mine alder leafest sour rainy. Makes me the bolder to salute my King. With ruder terms, such as my wit affords. And our eye of heart doth minister. King, her sight did rouish, but her grace in speech. Her words iclad with wisdom's majesty. Makes me from wondering, fall to weeping oys. Such is the fullness of my heart's content. Lords, with one cheerful voice, welcome it. All kneel, long liuc, Margaret, England's happens. Queen, we thank you all. Flourish. Suff, my Lord Protector, so it please your grace. Here are the articles of contracted peace. Between our sour Rainy and the French King Charles. For 18 months concluded by consent. Glo reads, Imprimis, it is agreed between the French King Charles and William de la Pole Marquess of Suffolk, ambassador for Henry King of England, that the said Henry shall espouse the Lady Margaret, daughter Vientio Reignier King of Naples, Sicilia and Jerusalem, and crown her Queen of England, ere the 30th of May next ensuing. Item, that the Duchy of Anjou and the County of Maine shall be released and delivered to the King her father. King Viencli how now? Glo, pardon me gracious Lord. Some sod infamy hath struck me at the heart, and dimmed mine eyes, that I can read no further. King Viencli of Winchester, I pray read on. When, item, it is further agreed between them that the Duchess of Anjou and Maine shall be released and delivered. Hour to the King her father, and she sent hour of the King of England's own proper cost and charges, without hoying any dowries. King, they please versus well, Lord Marks kneel down. We here create thee the first Duke of Suffolk, and girt thee with the sword, Cossin of York. We here discharge your grace from being regent. At parts of France, till term of 18 months. Be full expert, thanks Viencli Winchester. Gloucester, York, Buckingham, Somerset. Salisbury and Warwick. We thank you all for this great foredone. In entertainment, to my princely queen. Come, let Vezin, and with all speed pruide. To see her coronation be performed. Exit King, Queen and Suffolk. Man at the rest. Glo, bra peers of England, pillars of the state. To you Duke Humphrey must Vienne load his grief. Your grief, the common grief of all the land. What did my brother Henry spend his youth? His valor, coin, and people in the wars. Did he so often lodge in open field? In winter's cold, and summer's parching heat. To conquer France, his true inheritance. And did my brother Bedford toil his wits? To keep by policy what Henry got. Ha your Selous, Somerset, Buckingham, Bra York, Salisbury, and victorious Warwick. Resea deep scars in France and Normandy. Or hath mine vehemently Beaufort, and myself, with all the learned counsel of the realmy, studied so long, sat in the council house, early and late, debating to and fro, how France and Frenchmen might be kept in awe. And hath his highness in his infancy crowned in Paris in despite of foes. And shall these labours and these honours die? Shall Henry's conquest, Bedford's vigilance, your deeds of war, and all our counsel die? O peers of England, shameful is this league. Fatal this marriage, cancelling your fame, blotting your names from books of memory, racing the characters of your renown, defacing monuments of conquered France, Vienne doing all as all had newer been. Car, nephew, what means this passionate discourse? This peroration with such circumstance? For France, 'tis ours, and we will keep it still. Glow, I vehemently, we will keep it if we can. But now it is impossible we should. Suffolk, the new-made duke that rules the Rost, hath won the duchy of Anjou and Maine. Viento the poor king Reignier, whose large style agrees not with the leanness of his purse, sell, now by the death of him that died for all these counties or the keys of Normandy. But wherefore weeps Warwick, my valiant son? War, for grief that they are past recovery. For were their hope to conquer them again, my sword should shed hot blood, mine eyes no tears. Anjou and Maine, myself did win them both. Those pruences, these arms of mine did conquer, and are the cities that I got with wounds. Delivered VP again with peaceful words. Mort dies. York, for Suffolk's duke, may he be suffocate. That dims the honour of this warlike isle. France should ha torn and rent my very heart, before I would ha yielded to this league. I nor read but England's kings ha had large sums of gold, and dowries with their weus. And our King Henry geus away his own, to match with her that brings no vantages. A proper east, and newer heard before, that Suffolk should demand a whole 15th. For costs and charges in transporting her. She should ha stayed in France, and starrowed in France. Before. Car, my lord of Gloucester, now ye grow too hot. It was the pleasure of my lord the king. My lord of Winchester, I know your mind. 'Tis not my speeches that you do mislike, but 'tis my presence that doth trouble ye. Rancour will out, proud prelate, in thy face. I see thy fury, if I longer stay. We shall begin our ancient bickerings. Lordings, farewell, and say when I am gone. I prophesied, France will be lost ere long. Exit Humphrey. Car, so there goes our protector in a rage. 'Tis known to you he is mine enemy. Nay more, an enemy viento you all. And no great friend, I fear me to the king. Consider, lords, he is the next of blood, and heir apparent to the English crown. Had Henry got an empire by his marriage, and all the wealthy kingdoms of the West, there's reason he should be displeased at it. Look to it, lords, let not his smoothing words bewitch your hearts, be wise and circumspect. What though the common people for him, calling him Humphrey the good Duke of Gloucester, clapping their hands, and crying with loud voice, Isu maintain your royal excellence. With God preserve the good Duke Humphrey. I fear me, lords, for all this flattering gloss. He will be found a dangerous protector. Buck, why should he then protect our sour Rainy? He being of age to govern of himself. Cossin of Somerset, iron you with me. And altogether with the Duke of Suffolk. We'll quickly hoist Duke Humphrey from his seat. Car, this weighty business will not brook delay. I'll to the Duke of Suffolk presently. Exit Cardinal. Soame, Cossin of Buckingham, though Humphrey's pride and greatness of his place be grief to Vise. Yet let Vise watch the haughty Cardinal. His insolence is more intolerable than all the princes in the land beside. If Gloucester be displacked, he'll be protector. Buck, or thou, or I Somerset will be protectors. Despite Duke Humphrey, or the Cardinal. Exit Buckingham and Somerset. Sal, pride went before, ambition follows him. While these do labour for their own preferment, behooves it versus to labour for the realmy. I knew or saw but Humphrey Duke of Gloucester did bear him like a noble gentleman. Oft ha I seen the haughty cardinal more like a soldier than a man o'th church, as stout and proud as he were lord of all, swear like a ruffian, and demean himself vien like the ruler of a commonweal. Warwick my son, the comfort of my age, thy deeds, thy plainness, and thy housekeeping hath won the greatest four of the commons, excepting none but good Duke Humphrey and brother York, thy acts in Ireland, in bringing them to Sewell discipline. Thy late exploits done in the heart of France, when thou wert regent for our sour reigny, ha made thee feared and honoured of the people. I and we together for the public good, in what we can, to bridle and suppress the pride of Suffolk and the Cardinal, with Somerset's and Buckingham's ambition, and as we may, cherish Duke Humphrey's deeds, while they do tend the profit of the land. War, so God help Warwick as he lows the land, and common profit of his country. Your, and so says York, for he hath greatest cause. Salisbury, then let's make haste away, and look Vento the Main. Warwick, Vento the Main. O father, Maine is lost. That Maine, which by main force Warwick did win, and would ha kept, so long as breath did last. Main chance father you meant, but I meant Maine, which I will win from France, or else be slain. Exit Warwick and Salisbury, man at York. York, Anjou and Maine are genuine to the French. Paris is lost, the state of Normandy stands on a tickle point, now they are gone. Suffolk concluded on the articles. The peers agreed, and Henry was well pleased to change 2 dukedoms for a duke's fair daughter. I cannot blame them all, what is to them? 'Tis thine they gew away, and not their own. Pirates may make cheap pennyworths of their pillage, and purchase friends, and gew to courtesans, still ruling like lords till all be gone. While as the silly owner of the goods weeps o'er them, and wrings his hapless hands, and shakes his head, and trembling stands aloof, while all is shard, and all is borne away, ready to stare, and dare not touch his own. So York must sit, and fret, and bite his tongue, while his own lands are bargained for, and sold. Methinks the realms of England, France, and Ireland bear that proportion to my flesh and blood, as did the fatal brand Althea burnt. Vento, the prince's heart of Caledon. Anjou and Maine both genuine Vento the French. Cold news for me, for I had hope of France. Ewan as I ha of fertile England's soil. A day will come, when York shall claim his own, and therefore I will take the Newell's parts, and make a show of Low to proud Duke Humphrey. And when I spy a duentage, claim the crown. For that's the golden mark I seek to hit. Nor shall proud Lancaster usurp my right, nor hold the scepter in his childish fist, nor wear the diadem upon his head, whose church-like humours fits not for a crown. Then York be still a while, till time do seru. Watch thou, and wake when others be asleep, to pry into the secrets of the state, till Henry surfeiting in guise of Low, with his new bride, and England's dear-bought queen, and Humphrey with the peers be foulny at Ira's. Then will I raise aloft the milk-white rose, with whose sweet smell the air shall be perfumed, and in my standard bear the arms of York, to grapple with the house of Lancaster, and force perforce I'll make him yield the crown, whose bookish rule hath pulled fair England down. Exit York. Enter Duke Humphrey and his wife Eleanor. Elia, why droops my lord like our ripened corn, hanging the head at Ceres' plenteous load? Why doth the great Duke Humphrey knit his brows, as frowning at the fours of the world. Why are thine eyes fixed to the sullen earth, gazing on that which seems to dim thy sight? What seest thou there, King Henry's diadem, inchecked with all the honors of the world? If so, gaze on, and growl on thy face, until thy head be circled with the same. Put forth thy hand, reach at the glorious gold. What is too short, I'll lengthen it with mine. And hoeing both together, hold it VP. We'll both together lift our heads to Hohen, and newer more abase our sight so low, as to vouchsafe one glance VNTO the ground. O Nell, sweet Nell, if thou dost allow thy lord, banish the canker of ambitious thoughts, and may that thought, when I imagine against my king and nephew, virtuous Henry, be my last breathing in this mortal world. My troublous dreams this night doth make me sad. Eli, what dreamed my lord, tell me, and I'll requite it with sweet rehearsal of my morning's dream. Methought this staff mine office badge in court was broke in twain, by whom I ha forgot. But as I think, it was byth cardinal, and on the pieces of the broken wand were plaqued the heads of Edmund Duke of Somerset and William de la Pole, first Duke of Suffolk. This was my dream, what it doth bode God knows. Eli, tut, this was nothing but an argument, that he that breaks a stick of Gloucester's grow shall lose his head for his presumption. But list to me, my Humphrey, my sweet Duke. Methought I sate in seat of majesty in the Cathedral Church of Westminster, and in that chair where kings and queens were crowned, where Henry and Dame Margaret kneeled to me, and on my head did set the diadem. Nay, Elinor, then must I chide outright. Presumptuous dame, ill-nurtured Eleanor, art thou not second woman in the realmy, and the protector's wife belood of him? Hast thou not worldly pleasure at command, about the reach or compass of thy thought? And wilt thou still be hammering treachery, to tumble down thy husband and thyself from top of honor to disgrace's feet? Away from me, and let me hear no more. Elia, what, my lord, are you so choleric with Eleanor for telling but her dream? Next time I'll keep my dreams VNTO myself, and not be checked. Nay, be not angry, I am pleased again. Enter messenger. Mess, my lord protector, 'tis his hind's pleasure. You do prepare to ride VNTO S. Albans, whereas the king and queen do mean to hawk. Who I go, come Nell, thou wilt ride with versus. Ex Eli, yes, my good lord, I'll follow presently. Follow I must, I cannot go before, while Gloucester bears this base and humble mind. Were I a man, a duke, and next of blood, I would remove these tedious stumbling blocks, and smooth my way upon their headless necks. And being a woman, I will not be slacky to play my part in fortune's pageant. Where are you there, Sir Ione? Nay, fear not, man. We are alone, here's none but thee and I. Enter Hume. Hume, Isis Persero, your royal majesty. Elia, what sayest thou? Majesty, I am but grace. Hume, but by the grace of God, and Hum's aduous. Your grace's title shall be multiplied. Elia, what sayest thou, man? Hast thou as yet confirmed with Marjorie Iordain the cunning witch, with Roger Bolingbroke the Canera? And will they undertake to do me good? Hume, this they ha promised to show your hinds a spirit raised from depth of underground, that shall make answer to such questions as by your grace shall be propounded him. Eleanor, it is enough, I'll think upon the questions. When from St. Albans we do make return, we'll see these things effected to the full. Here, Hume, take this reward, make merry, man, with thy confederates in this weighty cause. Exit Eleanor. Hume must make merry with the Duchess Gold. Merry and shall, but how now, Sir Ione Hume? Seal VP your lips, and do you no words but mum. The business asketh silent secrecy. Dame Eleanor use gold, to bring the witch Gold cannot come amiss, were she a duel. Yet how I gold flies from another coast. I dare not say, from the rich cardinal, and from the great and new-made Duke of Suffolk. Yet I do find it so, for to be plain, they knowing Dame Aliénor's aspiring humour, ha heard me to vn mine the Duchess, and buzz these narrations in her brain. They say, a crafty naudeuse need no broker. Yet am I Suffolk, and the cardinal's broker. Hume, if you take not heed, you shall go near to call them both a pair of crafty gnaws. Well, so it stands, and thus I fear at last. Hum's nowery will be the Duchess Racky, and her attainture will be Humphrey's fall. Sort how it will, I shall ha gold for all. Enter 3 or 4 petitioners, the armourer's man being one. One pet, my masters, let's stand close, my Lord Protector will come this way by, and then we may deliver our supplications in the capet. Marry the Lord protect him, for he's a good man, Isu bless him. Enter Suffolk and Queen. Peter, here a comes methinks, and the Queen with him, I'll be the first sure. 2 pet, come back ye fool, this is the Duke of Suffolk, and not my Lord Protector's. Suff, how now fellow, wouldst ye anything with me? 1 pet, I pray my lord pardon me, I took ye for my Lord Protector's. Queen, to my Lord Protector, are your supplications to his lordship? Let me see them, what is thine? 1 pet, mine is, an't please your grace, against Ione Goodman, my Lord Cardinal's man, for keeping my house and lands and wife and all from me. Suff, thy wife too, that's some wrong indeed. What's yours, what's here, against the Duke of Suffolk for enclosing the commons of Melford? How now, sir naw, 2 pet. Alas, sir, I am but a poor petitioner of our whole township. Peter, against my master Thomas Horner for saying that the Duke of York was rightful heir to the crown. Queen, what sayst thou, did the Duke of York say he was rightful heir to the crown? Peter, that my mistress was, no forsooth, my master said that he was, and that the king was an usurper. Suff, who is there? Enter Saruant. Take this fellow in, and send for his master with a pursuant presently. We'll hear more of your matter before the king. Enter Queen, and as for you that low to be protected, viender the wings of our protector's grace. Begin your suites anew, and sue to him. Tear the supplication. Away, base cullions, Suffolk, let them go. All come, let's be gone. Enter Queen, my Lord of Suffolk, say, is this the guise? Is this the fashions in the court of England? Is this the government of Britain's isle? And this the royalty of Albion's king? What shall King Henry be a pupil still? Viender the surly Gloucester's governance? Am I a queen in title and in style, and must be made a subject to a duke? I tell thee, Poole, when in the city thou ranst ye a tilt in honour of my low, and stallst away the ladies' hearts of France. I thought King Henry had resembled thee in courage, courtship, and proportion, but all his mind is bent to holiness, to number aumères on his beads. His champions are the prophets and apostles, his weapons, holy saws of sacred writ. His study is his tilt-yard, and his lows are brazen images of canonized saints. I would the college of the cardinals would choose him pope, and carry him to Rome, and set the triple crown vipon his head. That were a state fit for his holiness. Suff, madame, be patient, as I was cause. Your highness came to England, so will I. In England work your grace's full content. Queen, beside the haughty protector, Hawley Beaufort, the imperious churchman, Somerset, Buckingham, and grumbling York, and not the least of these, but can do more in England than the king. Suff, and he of these, that can do most of all, cannot do more in England than the Newells. Salisbury and Warwick are no simple peers. Queen, not all these lords do vex me half so much as that proud dame, the Lord Protector's wife. She sweeps it through the court with troops of ladies, more like an empress than Duke Humphrey's wife. Strangers in court, do take her for the queen. She bears a duke's ruinos on her baccy. And in her heart she scorns our poverty. Shall I not leave you to be oinged on her? Contemptuous base-born calot as she is. She vaunted, mongst her minions other day. The very train of her worst wearing gown was better worth than all my father's lands. Till Suffolk got 2 dukedoms for his daughter. Suff, madame, myself ha limbed a bush for her. And placked a queer of such enticing birds, that she will light to listen to the lays. And newer mount to trouble you again. So let her rest, and madame list to me. For I am bold to counsel you in this. Although we fancy not the cardinal, yet must we iron with him and with the lords, till we ha brought Duke Humphrey in disgrace. As for the Duke of York, this late complaint will make but little for his benefit. So one by one we'll weed them all at last. And you yourself shall steer the happy helmy. Enter. Sound a senate. Enter the King, Duke Humphrey, Cardinal Buckingham, York, Salisbury, Warwick, and the Duchess. King, for my part, noble lords, I care not which. Or Somerset or York, all's one to me. York, if York ha ill demeaned himself in France, then let him be dened the regent. Somme, if Somerset be VN worthy of the place, let York be regent, I will yield to him. Warwa, whether your grace be worthy, yea or no. Dispute not that, York is the worthier. Card, ambitious Warwick, let thy betters speak. Warwa, the cardinal's not my better in the field. Buck, all in this presence are thy betters, Warwick. Warwa, Warwick may lead you to be the best of all. Salisp, peace on, and show some reason Buckingham. Why Somerset should be preferred in this. Queen, because the king forsooth will ha it so. Humph, madame, the king is old enough himself to gie you his censure, these are no women's matters. Queen, if he be old enough, what needs your grace? To be protector of his excellence. Humph, madame, I am protector of the realmy, and at his pleasure will resign my place. Suff, resign it then, and lo thine insolence. Since thou wert king, as who is king but thou? The commonwealth hath daily run to wrack. The dolphin hath preuled beyond the seas. And all the peers and nobles of the realmy ha been as bondmen to thy sovereignty. Card, the commons hast thou racked, the clergy's begs are lank and lean with thy extortions. Somme, thy sumptuous buildings, and thy weuse attire ha cost a mass of public treasury. Buck, thy cruelty and execution vipon offenders hath exceeded law, and left thee to the mercy of the law. Queen, thy sale of offices and towns in France, if they were known, as the suspect is great, would make thee quickly hop without thy head. Exit Humphrey. Giu me my fan, what minion can he not? She gius the Duchess a box on the ear. I cry you mercy, madame, was it you? Dutch wast I, yea I it was, proud Frenchwoman. Could I come near your beauty with my nails? I could set my 10 commandments in your face. King, sweet aunt, be quiet, 'twas against her will. Dutch, against her will, good king, look taught in time. She'll hamper thee, and dandle thee like a baby. Though in this place, most master wear no breeches. She shall not strike Dame Eleanor Vien Ruanged. Exit Eleanor. Buck, Lord Cardinal, I will follow Eleanor. And listen after Humphrey, how he proceeds. She's tickled now, her fume needs no spurs. She'll gallop far enough to her destruction. Exit Buckingham. Enter Humphrey. Humph, now lords, my collar being hour blown, with walking once about the quadrangle, I come to talk of Commonwealth affairs. As for your spiteful false objections, prow them, and I lie open to the law. But God in mercy so deal with my soul, as I in duty low my king and country. But to the matter that we ha in hand, I say, my sovereignty, York is meetest man to be your regent in the realmy of France. Suff, before we make election, giu me low. To show some reason, of no little force, that York is most Vienne meat of any man. York, I'll tell thee, Suffolk, why I am Vienne meat. First, for I cannot flatter thee in pride. Next, if I be appointed for the place, my lord of Somerset will keep me here, without discharge, money, or furniture, till France be won into the Dauphin's hands. Last time, I danked attendance on his will, till Paris was besieged, famished, and lost. Warwa, that can I witness, and a fouler fact, did newer traitor in the land commit. Suff, peace, headstrong Warwick. Warwa, image of pride, why should I hold my peace? Enter armorer and his man. Suff, because here is a man accused of treason. Pray God the Duke of York excuse himself. York, doth anyone accuse York for a traitor? King, what mean'st thou, Suffolk? Tell me what are these. Suff, please it your majesty, this is the that doth accuse his master of high treason. His words were these, that Richard, Duke of York, was rightful heir vientio the English crown, and that your majesty was an usurper. King, say man, were these thy words? Armorer, an't shall please your majesty, I knew or said, nor thought any such matter, God is my witness, I am falsely accused by the villain. Peter, by these 10 bones, my lords, he did speak them to me in the garret one night, as we were scouring my lord of York's armor. York, base dunghill villain, and mechanical, I'll haw thy head for this thy traitor's speech. I do beseech your royal majesty, let him haw all the rigour of the laws. Armorer, alas, my lord, hang me if you or I spake the words. My accuser is my prentice, and when I did correct him for his fault the other day, he did vow vipon his knees he would be ewen with me. I haw good witness of this, therefore I beseech your majesty, do not cast away an honest man for a villain's accusation. King, viencically, what shall we say to this in law? Humph, this doom, my lord, if I may eage. Let Somerset be regent or the French, because in York this breeds suspicion. And let these haw day appointed them for single combat, in convenient place. For he hath witness of his servant's malice. This is the law, and this Duke Humphrey's doom. Soam, I humbly thank your royal majesty. Armorer, and I accept the combat willingly. Peter, alas, my lord, I cannot fight, for God's sake pity my case, the spite of man preugileth against me. O Lord, ha mercy vipon me, I shall never be able to fight a blow, O Lord my heart. Humph, sirrah, or you must fight or else be hanged. King, away with them to prison, and the day of combat shall be the last of the next moneth. Come, Somerset, we'll see thee sent away. Flourish, exeunt. Enter the witch, the 2 priests, and Bolingbroke. Hume, come my masters, the Duchess I tell you expects performance of your promises. Bulling, Master Hume, we are therefore proided, will her ladyship behold, and hear our exorcisms. Hume, I what else, fear you not her courage. Bulling, I ha heard her reported to be a woman of an innuancible spirit, but it shall be convenient, Master Hume, that you be by her aloft, while we be busy below, and so I pray you go in God's name and low versus. Exit Hume. Mother Ireton, be you prostrate and growl on the earth, Ion Southwell read you, and let v's to our work. Enter Eleanor aloft. Eleanor, well said my masters, and welcome all, to this jeer, the sooner the better. Bullen, patience, good lady, wizards know their times. Deep night, dark night, the silent of the night. The time of night when Troy was set on fire. The time when screech owls cry, and bandogs howl, and spirits walk, and ghosts break vp their graws. That time best fits the work we haw in hand. Madame, sit you and fear not, whom we race. We will make fast within a hallowed verge. Here do the ceremonies belonging, and make the circle. Bolingbroke, or Southwell reads, Conero T, and see it thunders and lightens. Terribly, then. The spirit riseth. Spirit add some. Which is math by the eternal God, whose name and power thou tremblest at. Answer that I shall ask, for till thou speak, thou shalt not pass from hence. Spirit, ask what thou wilt, that I had said and done. Bulling, first of the king, what shall of him become? Spirit, the duke yet lives, that Henry shall depose. But him outlieu, and die a violent death. Bulling, what fates await the Duke of Suffolk? Spirit, by water shall he die, and take his end. Bulling, what shall befall the Duke of Somerset? Spirit, let him shun castles. Safer shall he be upon the sandy plains, than where castles mounted stand. Ha done, for more I hardly can endure. Bulling, descend to darkness, and the burning lake. False fiend awed. Thunder and lightning, exit spirit. Enter the Duke of York and the Duke of Buckingham with their guard, and break in. York, lay hands upon these traitors and their trash. Beldam, I think we watched you at an inch. What, madame, are you there? The king and commonweal are deeply indebted for this piece of pains. My lord protector will, I doubt it not, see you well guerdoned for these good deserts. A Leonor, not half so bad as thine to England's king. In Eurius Duke, that threatest where's no cause. Buck, true madame, none at all, what call you this? Away with them, let them be clapped VP close. And kept asunder, you madame shall with verses. Stafford, take her to thee. We'll see your trinkets here all forthcoming. All away. Enter. York, Lord Buckingham, methinks you watched her well. A pretty plot, well chosen to build vipon. Now pray my lord, let's see the jewels writ. What ha we here? Reads. The Duke yet lives, that Henry shall depose. But him outlieu, and die a violent death. Why this is east, eo eisita Romanos vincere passo. Well to the rest. Tell me what fate awaits the Duke of Suffolk. By water shall he die, and take his end. What shall betide the Duke of Somerset? Let him shun castles. Safer shall he be upon the sandy plains, than where castles mounted stand. Come, come, my lords. These oracles are hardly attained, and hardly understood. The king is now in progress towards St. Albans. With him, the husband of this lowly lady. Thither goes these news, as fast as horse can carry them. A sorry breakfast for my lord protector. Buck, your grace shall giu me low, my lord of York. To be the post, in hope of his reward. York, at your pleasure, my good lord. Who's within there, ho? Enter a Sarrowingman. Inuit my lords of Salisbury and Warwick. To souper with me tomorrow night, away. Exeunt. Enter the king, queen, protector, cardinal, and Suffolk, with Faulkner's hallowing. Queen, believe me lords, for flying at the brook. I saw not better sport these sewen years day. Yet by your low, the wind was very high. And 10-1, old Ione had not gone out. King, but what a point, my lord, your falcon made. And what a pitch she flew about the rest. To see how God in all his creatures works. Yea, man and birds are fain of climbing high. Suff no marul, and it like your majesty. My lord protector's hawks do tower so well. They know their master lows to be aloft, and bears his thoughts about his falcon's pitch. Glost, my lord, tease but a base ignoble mind. That mounts no higher than a bird can soar. Card, I thought as much, he would be about the clouds. Glost, I my lord cardinal, how think you by that? Were it not good your grace could fly to Hohen. King, the treasury of your lasting eye. Card, thy Hohen is on earth, thine eyes and thoughts. Beat on a crown, the treasure of thy heart. Pernicious protector, dangerous peer. That smooths ye it so with king and commonweal. Glost, what cardinal? Is your priesthood grown peremptory? Tant ein animus celestibus ure, churchman so hot. Good viancicli hide such malice. With such hollowness can you do it. Suff no malicer, no more than well becomes. So good a quarrel, and so bad. Glost, as who my lord? Suff, why as you my lord? Ant like your lordly lord's protectorship. Glost, why Suffolk, England knows than insolence. Queen, and thy ambition, Gloucester. King, I prithee peace, good queen. And wet not on these furious peers. For blessed are the peacemakers on earth. Card, let me be blessed for the peace I make. Against this proud protector with my sword. Glost, faith holy vehemently, would were come to that. Card, marry when thou darst. Glost, make VP no factious numbers for the matter. In thine own person answer thy abuse. Card, I where thou darst not peep. And if thou darst, this ewening. On the east side of the Grow. King, how now my lords? Card, believe me, cousin Gloucester. Had not your man put VP the fowl so suddenly, we had had more sport. Come with thy two-hand sword. Glost, truviancically are ye doest. The east side of the Grow. Cardinal, I am with yous. King, why how now vehemently Gloucester. Glost, talking of hawking, nothing else my lord. Now by God's mother priest. I'll show your crown for this. Or all my fence shall fail. Card, medis tapsum, protector see taught well protect. Yourself. King, the winds grow high. So do your stomachs, lords. How irksome is this music to my heart. When such strings ira, what hope of harmony? I pray my lords, let me compound this strife. Enter one, crying a miracle. Glost, what means this noise? Fellow, what miracle dost thou proclaim? One, a miracle, a miracle. Suffolk, come to the king, and tell him what miracle. One, forsooth, a blind man at St. Albon's shrine. Within this half hour hath received his sight. A man that ne'er saw in his life before. King, now God be praised that to believing souls. Jews light in darkness, comfort in despair. Enter the mayor of St. Albon's, and his brethren, bearing the man between two in a chair. Card, here comes the townsman on procession. To present your highness with the king, great is his comfort in this earthly vale. Although by his sight his sin be multiplied. Glost, stand by my masters, bring him near the king. His highness' pleasure is to talk with him. King, good fellow, tell verses here the circumstance. That we for thee may glorify the Lord. What hast thou been long blind and now? Simk, born blind, an't please your grace. Wife, I indeed was he. Suff, what woman is this? Wife, his wife, an't like your worship. Glost, hadst thou been his mother, thou couldst he ha. Better told. Kings, where wert thou born? Simk, at Barwick in the north, an't like your grace. King, poor soul. God's goodness hath been great to thee. Let newer day nor night be unhallowed pass. But still remember what the Lord hath done. Queen, tell me, good fellow. Cam'st thou here by chance, or of devotion? To this holy shrine. Simk, God knows of pure devotion. Being called 100 times, and oftener. In my sleep, by good St. Alban. Who said, Simon, come offer at my shrine. And I will help thee. Wife, most true forsooth. And many time and oft, myself ha heard a voice. To call him so. Card, what art thou lame? Simk, I God Almighty help me. Suff, how cam'st thou so? Simk, a fall off of a tree. Wife, a plum tree master. Glost, how long hast thou been blind? Simk, O born so master. Glost, what and wouldst climb a tree? Simk, but that in all my life when I was a youth. Wife, too true, and bought as climbing very dear. Glost, mass thou loudst plums well that wouldst venture so. Simk, alas, good master, my wife desired some damsons, and made me climb with danger of my life. Glost, a subtle gnaw, but yet it shall not seru. Let me see thine eyes, wink now open them. In my opinion, yet thou seest not well. Simk, yes master, clear as day, I thank God and St. Albans. Glost, say'st thou me so, what colour is this cloak? Of Simk, red master, red as blood. Glost, why that's well said, what colour is my gown of? Simk, black forsooth, coal black as it. King, why then thou know'st what colour it is. Of Suff, and yet I think, it did he newer see. Glost, but cloaks and gowns before this day, many. Wife, newer before this day in all his life. Glost, tell me sirrah what's my name. Simk, alas master I know not. Glost, what's his name? Simk, I know not. Glost, nor his. Simk, no indeed, master. Glost, what's thine own name? Simk, Sonder Simcox, and if it please you, master. Glost, then Sonder sit there. The lyingst not in Christendom. If thou hadst been born blind, thou mightst as well ha known all our names, as thus to name the sure all colours we do wear. Sight may distinguish of colours, but suddenly to nominate them all, it is impossible. My lords, Saint Albon here hath done a miracle. And would ye not think it cunning to be great, that could restore this cripple to his legs again? Simk, O master, that you could. Glost, my masters of Saint Albons, ha you not beetles in your town? And things called whips? Mayor, yes, my lord, if it please your grace. Glost, then send for one presently. Mayor, sirrah, go fetch the beetle hither straight. Enter. Glost, now fetch me a stool hither by and by. Now sirrah, if you mean to saw yourself from whipping, leap me o'er this stool and run away. Simk, alas master, I am not able to stand alone. You go about to torture me in vain. Enter a beetle with whips. Glost, well sir, we must ha you find your legs. Sir a beetle, whip him till he leap o'er that same stool. Beetle, I will my lord. Come on sirrah, off with your doublet quickly. Simk, alas master, what shall I do? I am not able to stand. After the beetle hath hit him once, he leaps o'er the stool and runs away, and they follow and cry, a miracle. King, O God, seest thou this and bearest so long? Queen, it made me laugh to see the villain. Glost, follow the gnaw and take this drab away. Wife, alas sir, we did it for pure need. Glost, let them be whipped through Uri market town, till they come to Barwick, from whence they came. Enter. Card, do Comfrey has done a miracle to Suff, true, made the lame to leap and fly away. Glost, but you ha done more miracles than I. You made in a day, my lord, whole towns to fly. Enter Buckingham. King, what tidings with our cousin Buckingham? Buck, such as my heart doth tremble to vie enfold. A sort of naughty persons, lewdly bent. Vie endure the countenance and confederacy of Lady Eleanor, the protector's wife, the ringleader and head of all this rout. Ha practised dangerously against your state, dealing with witches and with chimeras, whom we ha apprehended in the fact, raising VP wicked spirits from Viender ground, demanding of King Henry's life and death, and other of your highness privy council, as more at large your grace shall Viender stand. Card, and so my lord protector by this means. Your lady is forthcoming, yet at London. This news I think hath turned your weapon's edge. 'Tis like my lord, you will not keep your hour. Glost, ambitious churchman, low to afflict my heart. Sorrow and grief ha vanquished all my powers. And vanquished as I am, I yield to thee. Or to the meanest groom. King, O God, what mischiefs work the wicked ones, heaping confusion on their own heads thereby. Queen, Gloucester, see here the tincture of thy nest. And look thyself be faultless, thou wert best. Glost, madame, for myself to hoen I do appeal. How I ha lewd my king, and commonweal. And for my wife, I know not how it stands. Sorry I am to hear what I ha heard. Noble she is, but if she ha forgot honor and virtue, and canoeist with such As like to pitch, defile nobility. I banish her my bed and company, and jew her as a prey to law and shame, that hath dishonored Gloucester's honest name. King, well, for this night we will repose viz here. Tomorrow toward London, back again, to look into this business thoroughly, and call these foul offenders to their answers, and poise the cause in Eustis equal scales, whose beam stands sure, whose rightful cause prevails. Flourish, exeunt. Enter York, Salisbury, and Warwick. York, now my good lords of Salisbury and Warwick, our simple supper ended, jew me low, in this close walk, to satisfy myself, in crying your opinion of my title, which is infallible, to England's crown. Salisb, my lord, I long to hear it at full. Warwa, sweet York, begin, and if thy claim be good, the Newells are thy subjects to command. York, then thus. Edward the Third, my lords, had sewen sons. The first, Edward the Black Prince, Prince of Wales. The second, William of Hatfield, and the third, Lionel, Duke of Clarence, next to whom was Ione of Gaunt, the Duke of Lancaster. The fifth was Edmund Langley, Duke of York. The sixth was Thomas of Woodstock, Duke of Gloucester. William of Windsor was the seventh and last. Edward the Black Prince died before his father, and left behind him Richard, his only son, who after Edward III's death reigned as king, till Henry Bolingbroke, Duke of Lancaster, the eldest son and heir of Ione of Gaunt, crowned by the name of Henry IV, seized on the realmy, deposed the rightful king, sent his poor queen to France, from whence she came, and him to Pomfret, where, as all you know, harmless Richard was murdered traitorously. Warwa, father, the Duke hath told the truth. Thus got the house of Lancaster the crown. York, which now they hold by force, and not by right. For Richard, the first son's heir, being dead, the issue of the next son should ha reigned. Salisb, but William of Hatfield died without an heirs. York, the third son, Duke of Clarence, from whose line I claim the crown, had issue Philip, a daughter, who married Edmund Mortimer, Earl of March. Edmund had issue Roger, Earl of March. Roger had issue Edmund, Anne, and Eleanor. Salisb, this Edmund in the reign of Bolingbroke, as I ha read, laid claim vientio the crown, and but for Owen Glendor had been king, who kept him in captivity till he died. But to the rest, York, his eldest sister Anne, my mother, being heir vientio the crown, married Richard, Earl of Cambridge, who was to Edmund Langley, Edward III's fifth son's son. By her I claim the kingdom. She was heir to Roger, Earl of March, who was the son of Edmund Mortimer, who married Philip, sole daughter, vientio Lionel, Duke of Clarence. So if the issue of the elder son succeed before the younger, I am king. Warwa, what plain proceedings is more plain than this? Henry doth claim the crown from Ione of Gaunt. The fourth son, York, claims it from the third. Till Lionel's issue fails, his should not reign. It fails not yet, but flourishes in thee, and in thy sons, fair slips of such a stock. Then, Father Salisbury, kneel we together, and in this preuate plot be we the first that shall salute our rightful sovereignty, with honor of his birthright to the crown. Both, long live our sovereignty Richard, England's king. York, we thank you, lords. But I am not your king, till I be crowned, and that my sword be stained with heart blood of the house of Lancaster. And that's not suddenly to be performed, but with a duous and silent secrecy. Do you as I do in these dangerous days. Wink at the Duke of Suffolk's insolence, at Beaufort's pride, at Somerset's ambition, at Buckingham and all the crew of them, till they ha snared the shepherd of the flock, that virtuous prince, the good Duke Humphrey. 'Tis that they seek, and they in seeking that shall find their deaths, if York can prophesy. Salisp, my lord, break we off, we know your mind. At full. Warwa, my heart assures me that the Earl of Warwick shall one day make the Duke of York a king. York and Newell, this I do assure myself. Richard shall leave you to make the Earl of Warwick the greatest man in England, but the king. Exeunt. Sound trumpets, enter the king in state with guard to banish the Duchess. King, stand forth Dame Eleanor Cobham, Gloucester's wife. In sight of God and V's your guilt is great. Receive you the sentence of the law for sin, such as by God's book are adjudged to death. You four from hence to prison, back again. From thence, VNTO the place of execution. The witch in Smithfield shall be burnt to ashes, and you three shall be strangled on the gallows. You, madame, for you are more nobly born, despoiled of your honor in your life, shall after 3 days open penance done. Lee you in your country here, in banishment, with Sir Ione Stanley, in the Isle of Man. Eleanor, welcome is banishment, welcome were my death. Glost, Eleanor, the law thou seest hath adjudged thee. I cannot eastify whom the law condemns. Mine eyes are full of tears, my heart of grief. Ah, Humphrey, this dishonor in thine age will bring thy head with sorrow to the ground. I beseech your majesty, giu me low to go. Sorrow would solace, and mine age would ease. King, stay Humphrey, Duke of Gloucester. Ere thou go, giu VP thy staff. Henry will to himself protector be. And God shall be my hope, my stay, my guide. And lanthorn to my feet. And go in peace, Humphrey, no less belude. Then when thou wert protector to thy king. Queen, I see no reason why a king of years should be to be protected like a child. God and King Henry govern England's realmy. GUVP your staff, sir, and the king his realmy. Glost, my staff, here noble Henry is my staff. As willingly do I the same resign, as ere thy father Henry made it mine. And Ewan as willingly at thy feet I low it, as others would ambitiously receive you it. Farewell, good king, when I am dead and gone. May honorable peace attend thy throne. Exit Gloucester. Queen, why now is Henry king, and Margaret queen? And Humphrey, Duke of Gloucester, scarce himself, that bears so shrewd a maim, 2 pulls at once. His lady banished, and a limb lopped off. This staff of honor wrought, there let it stand, where it best fits to be, in Henry's hand. Suff, thus droops this lofty pine, and hangs his sprays. Thus Eleanor's pride dies in her youngest days. York, lords, let him go, please it your majesty. This is the day appointed for the combat. And ready are the appellant and defendant, the armorer and his man, to enter the lists. So please your highness to behold the fight. Queen, I good my lord, for purposely therefore left I the court, to see this quarrel tried. King, a God's name see the lists and all things fit. Here let them end it, and God defend the right. York, I never saw a fellow worse bestead, or more afraid to fight, than is the appellant. The servant of this armorer, my lords. Enter at one door the armorer and his neighbors, drinking to him so much that he is drunk, and he enters with a drum before him and his staff with a sandbag fastened to it, and at the other door his man with a drum and sandbag, and prentices drinking to H neighbor. Here neighbor Horner, I drink to you in a cup of sack, and fear not neighbor, you shall do well enough. 2 neighbor, and here neighbor, here's a cup of Jarnica. 3 neighbor, and here's a pot of good double beer. Neighbor, drink and fear not your man. Armorer, let it come if faith, and I'll pledge you all. And a fig for Peter. 1 prent, here Peter, I drink to thee, and be not a fra prent. Be merry Peter, and fear not thy master, fight for credit of the prentices. Peter, I thank you all, drink and pray for me, I pray you, for I think I ha taken my last draught in this world. Here Robin, and if I die, I gie you thee my aporn, and will thou shalt ha my hammer. And here Tom take all the money that I ha. O Lord bless me, I pray God, for I am newer able to deal with my master, he hath learnt so much fence already. Salisp, come, low your drinking and fall to blows. Sirrah, what's thy name? Peter, Peter forsooth. Salisp, Peter, what more? Peter, thump. Salisp, thump, then see thou thump thy master. Well, armourer, masters, I am come hither as it were vpon my man's instigation, to prow him anon, and myself an honest man. And touching the Duke of York, I will take my death, I newer meant him any ill, nor the king, nor the queen. And therefore Peter haw at thee with a downright blow. York, dispatch, this gnaw's tongue begins to double. Sound trumpets, alarum to the combatants. They fight, and Peter strikes him down. Armourer, hold Peter, hold, I confess treason. York, take away his weapon, fellow, thank God. And the good wine in thy master's way. Peter, O God, how I overcome mine enemies in this presence, O Peter, thou hast prevailed in right. King, go, take hence that traitor from our sight. For by his death we do pursue his guilt. And God in Eastus hath ruled to vise the truth and innocence of this poor fellow, which he had thought to ha murdered wrongfully. Come fellow, follow vise for thy reward. Sound a flourish, exeunt. Enter Duke Humphrey and his men in mourning cloaks. Glost, thus sometimes hath the brightest day a cloud. And after summer, your more succeeds. Barren winter, with his wrathful nipping cold. So cares and always abound, as seasons fleet. Sirs, what's o'clock? Saru, 10, my lord. Glost, 10 is the hour that was appointed me. To watch the calming of my punished duchess. Vianeath may she endure the flinty streets. To tread them with her tender-feeling feet. Sweet Nell, ill can thy noble mind abrook. The abject people, gazing on thy face, with inurious looks laughing at thy shame, that erst did follow thy proud chariot wheels, when thou didst ride in triumph through the streets. But soft, I think she comes, and I'll prepare my tear-stained eyes to see her miseries. Enter the Duchess in a white sheet, and a taper burning in her hand with the sheriff and officers. Saru, so please your grace, we'll take her from the sheriff. Gloucester, no, stir not for your leus, let her pass. By Eleanor, come you my lord to see my open shame. Now thou dost ye penance too, look how they gaze. See how the giddy multitude do point, and nod their heads, and throw their eyes on thee. Ah, Gloucester, hide thee from their hateful looks, and in thy closet pent VP, rue my shame. And ban thine enemies, both mine and thine. Glost, be patient, gentle Nell, forget this grief. Eleanor, ah Gloucester, teach me to forget myself. For whilst I think I am thy married wife, and thou a prince, protector of this land, methinks I should not thus be led along, mailed VP in shame, with papers on my back, and followed with a rabble, that reice, to see my tears, and hear my deep fet groans. The ruthless flint doth cut my tender feet, and when I start, the inurious people laugh, and bid me be aduized how I tread. Ah Humphrey, can I bear this shameful yoke? Trowest thou, that ere I'll look vpon the world, or count them happy, that enjoys the sun? No, dark shall be my light, and night my day. To think vpon my pomp shall be my hell. Sometime I'll say, I am Duke Humphrey's wife, and he a prince, and ruler of the land. Yet so he ruled, and such a prince he was. As he stood by, whilst I, his forlorn duchess, was made a wonder, and a pointing stock to Uery, idle rascal follower. But be thou milda, and blush not at my shame, nor stir at nothing, till the axe of death hang o'er thee, as sure it shortly will. For Suffolk, he that can do all in all, with her that hateth thee and hates fees all. And York, and impious Beaufort, that false priest, ha all-limbed bushes to betray thy wings. And fly thou how thou canst, they'll tangle thee. But fear not thou, until thy foot be snarred. nor newer seek preuntion of thy foes. Glost on nel forbear, thou imest all awry. I must offend, before I be attainted. And had I 20 times so many foes, and each of them had 20 times their power, all these could not procure me any scathe. So long as I am loyal, true, and crimeless. Wouldst ha me rescue thee from this reproach? Why yet thy scandal were not whipped away? But I in danger for the breach of law. Thy greatest help is quiet, gentle Nell. I pray thee sort thy heart to patience. These few days' wonder will be quickly worn. Enter a herald. Her, I summon your grace to his majesty's parliament. Holden at Bury, the first of this next moneth. Glost, and my consent near asked herein before. This is close dealing, well I will be there. My Nell I take my low, and Master Sheriff. Let not her penance exceed the king's commission. An't please your grace, here my commission stays. And Sir Ione Stanley is appointed now to take her with him to the Isle of Man. Glost, must you, Sir Ione, protect my lady here? Stanley, so am I Gewan in charge, mate please your grace. Glost, entreat her not the worse, in that I pray. You via see her well, the world may laugh again. And I may leave you to doe you kindness, if you doe at her. And so Sir Ione, farewell. Eleanor, what gun my lord and bid me not farewell? Glost, witness my tears I cannot stay to speak. Exit Gloucester. Eleanor, art thou gone too, all comfort go with thee. For none abides with me, my eye is death. Death, at whose name I oft ha been afeared. Because I wished this world's eternity. Stanley, I prithee go, and take me hence. I care not whither, for I beg no for. Onely canoe me where thou art commanded. Stanley, why madame, that is to the Isle of Man. There to be viest, according to your state. Eleanor, that's bad enough, for I am but reproach. And shall I then be viest reproachfully? Stanley, like to a duchess, and Duke Humfrey's lady. According to that state, you shall be viest. Eleanor, share I farewell, and better than I fare. Although thou hast been conduct of my shame. Sheriff, it is my office, and madame pardon me. Eleanor, I farewell, thy office is discharged. Come Stanley, shall we go? Stanley, madame, your penance done. Throw off this sheet. And go we to attire you for our your nigh. Eleanor, my shame will not be shifted with my sheet. No, it will hang vipon my richest robes. And show itself, attire me how I can. Go, lead the way, I long to see my prison. Exeunt. Sound a senate. Enter King, Queen, Cardinal, Suffolk, York, Buckingham, Salisbury, and Warwick to the Parliament. King, I muse my Lord of Gloucester is not come. 'Tis not his wont to be the hindmost man. What ear occasion keeps him from v's now? Queen, can you not see, or will ye not observe the strangeness of his altered countenance? With what a majesty he bears himself. How insolent of late he is become. How proud, how peremptory, and Vienne like himself. We know the time since he was milder and affable. And if we did but glance a far-off look, immediately he was vipon his knee. That all the court admired him for submission. But meet him now, and be it in the morn, when Uri one will gee you the time of day. He knits his brow, and shows an angry eye, and passeth by with stiff Vienne-bowed knee, disdaining duty that to versus belongs. Small curs are not regarded when they grin, but great men tremble when the lion roars. And Humphrey is no little man in England. First note that he is near you in descent. And should you fall, he is the next will mount. Meseemeth then, it is no policy, respecting what a rancorous mind he bears, and his advantage following your decease, that he should come about your royal person, or be admitted to your highness council. By flattery hath he won the commons' hearts, and when he pleased to make commotion, 'tis to be feared they all will follow him. Now 'tis the spring, and weeds are shallow-rooted. Suffer them now, and they'll regrow the garden, and choke the herbs for want of husbandry. The ruinant care I bear vientio my lord, made me collect these dangers in the duke. If it be fond, call it a woman's fear, which fear, if better reasons can supplant, I will subscribe, and say I wronged the duke. My lord of Suffolk, Buckingham, and York, reprow my allegation if you can, or else conclude my words effectual. Suff, well hath your highness seen into this duke, and had I first been put to speak my mind, I think I should ha told your grace's tale. The duchess, by his subornation, vipon my life began her dealish practices, or if he were not privy to those faults, yet by reputing of his high descent, as next the king, he was successiu heir, and such high vaunts of his nobility, did instigate the bedlam brain-sick duchess, by wicked means to frame our sour Rainey's fall. Smooth runs the water, where the brook is deep, and in his simple show he harbors treason. The fox barks not, when he would steal the lamb. No, no, my sour Rainey, Gloucester is a man. Vienne sounded yet, and full of deep deceit. Card, did he not, contrary to form of law, duois strange deaths for small offences done? York, and did he not in his protectorship Louis great sums of money through the realmy, for soldiers' pay in France, and newer sent it, by means whereof the towns each day rulted. Buck, tut, these are petty faults to faults Vienne known, which time will bring to light in smooth Duke Humphrey. King, my lords at once, the care you ha of these, to mow down thorns that would annoy our foot, is worthy praise, but shall I speak my conscience? Our kinsman Gloucester is as innocent, from meaning treason to our royal person, as is the sucking lamb, or harmless dow. The duke is virtuous milda, and too well genuine, to dream on Ewell, or to work my downfall. Ah, what's more dangerous than this fond affiance? Seems he a dow, his feathers are but borrowed, for he's disposed as the hateful Ron. Is he a lamb, his skin is surely lent him, for he's inclined as is the rawness wallows. Who cannot steal a shape, that means deceit. Take heed, my lord, the welfare of these all hangs on the cutting short that fraudful man. Enter Somerset. Soame, all health vientio my gracious sour Rainey. King, welcome Lord Somerset, what news from France? Soame, that all your interest in those territories is vt turly bereft you, all is lost. King, cold news Lord Somerset, but God's will be done. York, cold news for me, for I had hope of France, as firmly as I hope for fertile England. Thus are my blossoms blasted in the bud, and caterpillars eat my lows away. But I will remedy this gear ere long, or sell my title for a glorious gra. Enter Gloucester. Glost, all happiness vientio my lord the king. Pardon my liege, that I ha stayed so long. Suff, nay Gloucester, know that thou art come too soon. Vienne less thou wert more loyal than thou art. I do arrest thee of high treason here. Glost, well Suffolk thou shalt not see me blush, nor change my countenance for this arrest. A heart Vienne spotted, is not easily daunted. The purest spring is not so free from mud, as I am clear from treason to my sour Rainey. Who can accuse me, wherein am I guilty? York, 'tis thought, my lord, that you took bribes of France, and being protector, stayed the soldiers' pay, by means whereof his highness hath lost France. Glost, is it but thought so? What are they that think it? I newer robbed the soldiers of their pay, nor ewer had 1 penny bribe from France. So help me God, as I ha watched the night, I night by night, in studying good for England. That doit that ere I wrested from the king, or any groat I hoarded to my VSC, be brought against me at my trial day. No, many a pound of mine own proper store, because I would not tax the needy commons. Ha I dispersed to the garrisons, and newer asked for restitution. Card, it serves you well, my lord, to say so much. Glost, I say no more than truth, so help me God. York, in your protectorship you did deoise strange tortures for offenders, new or heard of. That England was defamed by tyranny. Glost, why 'tis well known, that whiles I was protector, pity was all the fault that was in me. For I should melt at an offender's tears, and lowly words were ransom for their fault. Unless it were a bloody murderer, or foul felonious thief, that fleeked poor passengers. I knew or Gotham condemn punishment. Murther indeed, that bloody sin I avow the felon, or what trespass else. Suff, my lord, these faults are easy, quickly answered. But mightier crimes are laid vnto your charge, whereof you cannot easily purge yourself. I do arrest you in his highness' name, and here commit you to my lord cardinal, to keep till your further time of trial. King, my lord of Gloucester, 'tis my special hope that you will clear yourself from all suspense. My conscience tells me you are innocent. Glost, ah gracious lord, these days are dangerous. Virtue is choked with foul ambition, and charity chased hence by rancor's hand. Foul subornation is predominant, and equity exiled your highness land. I know their complot is to harm my life, and if my death might make this island happy, and proud the period of their tyranny, I would expend it with all willingness. But mine is made the prologue to their play. For thousands more, that yet suspect no peril, will not conclude their plotted tragedy. Beaufort's red sparkling eyes blab his heart's malice, and Suffolk's cloudy brow his stormy hate. Sharp Buckingham burthens with his tongue the annuious load that lies upon his heart, and dogged York, that reaches at the moon, whose o'erweening arm I ha plucked back, by false accused doth lull at my life. And you, my sour rainy lady, with the rest, causeless ha laid disgraces on my head, and with your best endure ha stirred VP, my leafest liege, to be mine enemy. I all of you ha laid your heads together. Myself had notice of your conunticles, and all to make away my guiltless life. I shall not want false witness, to condemn me, nor store of treasons, to augment my guilt. The ancient proverb will be well affected. A staff is quickly found to beat a dog. Card, my liege, his railing is intolerable. If those that care to keep your royal person from treason's secret knife, and traitor's rage, be thus VP braided, chid, and rated at, and the offender granted scope of speech, 'twill make them cool in zeal vnto your grace. Suff, hath he not twit our sour rainy lady here with ignominious words, though clerkly calked, as if she had suborned some to swear false allegations to overthrow his state. But I can you the loser low to chide. Glost, far truer spoke than meant, I lose indeed. Beshrew the winners, for they played me false, and well such losers may ha low to speak. Buck, he'll rest the sense, and hold v's here all day. Lord Cardinal, he is your prisoner. Card, sirs, take away the Duke and guard him sure. Glost, ah thus King Henry throws away his crutch. Before his legs, be firm to bear his body. Thus is the shepherd beaten from thy side. And wallows are gnarling, who shall gnaw thee first? Ah that my fear were false, ah that it were. For good King Henry, thy decay I fear. Exit Gloucester. King, my lords, what to your wisdom seemeth best? Do or viendo, as if ourself were here. Queen, what will your highness low the parliament? King, I Margaret, my heart is drowned with grief, whose flood begins to flow within mine eyes. My body round and it with misery. For what's more miserable than discontent? Obviously Humphrey, in thy face I see the map of honor, truth, and loyalty. And yet, good Humphrey, is the hour to come, that ere I proved thee false, or feared thy faith. What lowering star now annies thy estate? That these great lords, and Margaret our queen, do seek subjusion of thy harmless life. Thou newer didst them wrong, nor no man wrong. And as the butcher takes away the calf, and binds the wretch, and beats it when it strays, bearing it to the bloody slaughterhouse, ewen so remorseless ha they borne him hence. And as the dam runs lowing vp and down, looking the way her harmless young one went, and can do not but wail her darling's loss, ewen so myself bewails good Gloucester's case, with sad and helpful tears, and with dimmed eyes, look after him, and cannot do him good. So mighty are his vowed enemies. His fortunes I will weep, and twixt each groan say who's a traitor, Gloucester he is none. Enter. Queen, free lords. Cold snow melts with the sun's hot beams. Henry, my lord, is cold in great affairs, too full of foolish pity, and Gloucester's show beguiles him, as the mournful crocodile with sorrow snares relenting passengers, or as the snake, rolled in a flurrying bank, with shining checkered slough doth sting a child, that for the beauty thinks it excellent. Believe you me, lords, were none more wise than I, and yet herein I judge mine own wit good. This Gloucester should be quickly rid the world, to rid v's from the fear we ha of him. Card, that he should die, is worthy policy, but yet we want a colour for his death. 'Tis meet he be condemned by course of law. Suff, but in my mind that were no policy. The king will labour still to saw his life. The commons haply rise to saw his life. And yet we ha but trivial argument, more than mistrust, that shows him worthy death. York, so that by this you would not ha him die. Suff, York no man aliu so fain as I. York, 'tis York that hath more reason for his death. But my lord cardinal, and you my lord of Suffolk, say as you think, and speak it from your souls. Were it not all one, an empty eagle were set to guard the chicken from a hungry kite, as placed Duke Humphrey for the king's protector. Queen, so the poor chicken should be sure of death. Suff, madame, 'tis true, and were it not madness then, to make the fox surrier of the fold, who being accused a crafty murderer, his guilt should be but idly posted hour, because his purpose is not executed. No, let him die, in that he is a fox, by nature prudent enemy to the flock, before his chaps be stained with crimson blood, as Humphrey proved by reasons to my liege, and do not stand on quillets how to slay him, be it by gins, by snares, by subtlety, sleeping or waking, 'tis no matter how. So he be dead, for that is good deceit, which mates him first, that first intends deceit. Queen, thrice noble Suffolk, 'tis resolutely spoke. Suff, not resolute, except so much were done. For things are often spoke, and seldom meant. But that my heart accordeth with my tongue, seeing the deed is meritorious, and to pursue my sour rainy from his foe. Say but the word, and I will be his priest. Card, but I would ha him dead, my lord of Suffolk, ere you can take due orders for a priest. Say you consent, and censure well the deed, and I'll pruide his executioner. I tender so the safety of my lee. Suff, here is my hand, the deed is worthy doing. Queen, and so say I. York and I, and now we three ha spoke it. It skills not greatly, who impugns our doom. Enter a post. Post, great lords, from Ireland am I come aming, to signify that rebels there are vp, and put the Englishmen vnto the sword. Send succors, lords, and stop the rage betime, before the wound do grow incurable. For being green, there is great hope of help. Card, a breach that craws a quick expedient stop. What counsel do you in this weighty cause? York, that Somerset be sent as regent thither. 'Tis meet that lucky ruler be employed. Witness the fortune he hath had in France. Somme, if York with all his far-fet policy had been the regent there, instead of me, he newer would ha stayed in France so long. York, no, not to lose it all as thou hast done. I rather would ha lost my life betimes, then bring a burthen of dishonour home. by staying there so long till all were lost. Show me one scar, charactered on thy skin. Men's flesh pursued so whole, do seldom win. Nay then, this spark will prow a raging fire. If wind and fuel be brought, to feed it with. No more, good York, sweet Somerset, be still. Thy fortune, York, hadst thou been regent there, might happily ha proved far worse than his. York, what worse than naught, nay than a shame. Take all, Somerset, and in the number thee that wishest. Shame. Card, my lord of York, try what your fortune is. Vencual kerns of Ireland are in arms, and temper clay with blood of Englishmen. To Ireland will you lead a band of men, collected choicely from each county some, and try your hap against the Irishmen. York, I will, my lord, so please his majesty. Suff, why our authority is his consent, and what we do establish he confirms. Then, noble York, take thou this task in hand. York, I am content, provide me soldiers, lords, whiles I take order for mine own affairs. Suff, a charge, Lord York, that I will see performed. But now return we to the false Duke Humphrey. Card, no more of him, for I will deal with him, that henceforth he shall trouble versus no more. And so break off, the day is almost spent. Lord Suffolk, you and I must talk of that uint. York, my lord of Suffolk, within 14 days. At Bristow I expect my soldiers, for there I'll ship them all for Ireland. Suff, I'll see it truly done, my lord of York. Exeunt. Man at York. York, now York or newer, steal thy fearful thoughts, and change misdoubt to resolution. Be that thou hop'st to be, or what thou art. Resigned to death, it is not worth any oing. Let pale fact fear keep with the mean-born man, and find no harbor in a royal heart. Faster the springtime showers, comes thought on thought, and not a thought but thinks on dignity. My brain, more busy than the laboring spider, woes tedious snares to trap mine enemies. Well, nobles, well, 'tis politically done, to send me packing with an host of men. I fear me, you but warm the starrood snake, who cherished in your breasts will sting your hearts. 'Twas men I lacked, and you will jew them me. I take it kindly, yet be well assured, you put sharp weapons in a madman's hands, whiles I in Ireland nourish a mighty band. I will stir a VP in England, some black storm shall blow 10,000 souls to Hoenn or hell, and this fell tempest shall not cease to rage, until the golden circuit on my head, like to the glorious sun's transparent beams, do kami the fury of this mad-bred flaw. And for a minister of my intent, I ha seduct a headstrong Kentishman, Ion Cade of Ashford, to make commotion as full well he can, under the title of Ion Mortimer. In Ireland ha I seen the stubborn Cade oppose himself against a troop of kerns, and fought so long till that his thighs with darts were almost like a sharp-quilled porpentine, and in the end being rescued I ha seen him caper v prite like a wilde morisco, shaking the bloody darts as he his bells, full often like a shag-haired crafty kern, hath he canoeist with the enemy, and and scoured come to me again, and genuine me notice of their villainies. This duel here shall be my substitute for that Ion Mortimer which now is dead. In face, in gait, in speech he doth resemble. By this I shall pursue the commons' mind, how they affect the house in claim of York. Say he be taken, racked, and tortured, I know no pain they can inflict upon him will make him say, I moved him to those arms. Say that he threw you, as 'tis great like he will. Why then from Ireland come I with my strength, and reap the harvest which that rascal sowed. For Humphrey, being dead as he shall be, and Henry put apart, the next for me. Enter. Enter 2 or 3 running out of the stage, from the murther of Duke Humphrey. We ha dispatched the duke as he commando that it were to do. What ha we done? Didst you hear a man so penitent? Enter Suffolk. Suff, now sirs, ha you dispatch this thing? Suff, why that's well said. Go get you to my house. I will reward you for this venturous deed. The king and all the peers are here at hand. Ha you laid fair the bed, is all things well? According as I ga directions. Suff, away be gone. Exeunt. Sound trumpets. Enter the king, the queen, cardinal, Suffolk, Somerset with attendants. King, go call our veneer to our presence straight. Say, we intend to try his grace today. If he be guilty, as 'tis published. Suff, I'll call him presently, my noble lord. Enter. King, lords, take your places, and I pray you all. Proceed no straighter, gainst our veneer Gloucester. Then from true evidence, of good esteem, he be approved in practice culpable. Queen, God forbid any malice should prevail. That faultless may condemn a noble man. Pray God he may acquit him of suspicion. King, I thank thee Nell, these words content me much. Enter Suffolk. How now, why look'st thou pale, why tremblest thou? Where's our veneer? What's the matter, Suffolk? Suff dead in his bed, my lord, Gloucester is dead. Queen, Mary God forfend. Card, God's secret judgment, I did dream tonight. The duke was dumb, and could not speak a word. King sounds. How fares my lord? Help lords, the king is dead. Soam, rear a VP his body, wring him by the nose. Grun, go help, O Henry, ope thine eyes. Suff, he doth rue you again, madame, be patient. King, O holy God. How fares my gracious lord? Suff, comfort my sour rainy, gracious Henry, comfort. King, what doth my lord of Suffolk comfort me? Came he right now to sing a Ron's note, whose dismal tune bereft my vital powers? And thinks he that the chirping of a wren, by crying comfort from a hollow breast, can chase away the first conceived sound? Hide not thy poison with such sugrid words. Lay not thy hands on me, forbear I say. Their touch affrights me as a serpent's sting. Thou baleful messenger, out of my sight. Vipon thy eyeballs, murderous tyranny, sits in grim majesty to fright the world. Look not vipon me, for thine eyes are wounding. Yet do not go away, come basilisk, and kill the innocent gazer with thy sight. For in the shade of death I shall find I. In life but double death, now Gloucester's dead. Queen, why do you rate my lord of Suffolk thus? Although the duke was enemy to him, yet he most Christian-like laments his death. And for myself, foe as he was to me, might liquid tears, or heart-offending groans, or blood-consuming sighs recall his life. I would be blind with weeping, sick with groans, look pale as primrose with blood-drinking sighs, and all to ha the noble Duke Aliu. What know I how the world may deem of me? For it is known we were but hollow friends. It may be judged I made the Duke away. So shall my name with slander's tongue be wounded, and princes' courts be filled with my reproach. This get I by his death, I me vien happy. To be a queen, and crowned with infamy. King, ah woe is me for Gloucester, wretched man. Queen, be woe for me, more wretched than he is. What dost thou turn away, and hide thy face? I am no loathsome leaper, look on me. What, art thou like the adder waxen deaf? Be poisonous too, and kill thy forlorn queen. Is all thy comfort shut in Gloucester's tomb? Why then Dame Eleanor was near thy eyes? Erect his statue, and worship it, and make my image but an alehouse scene. Was I for this nigh racked vipon the sea, and twice by awkward wind from England's bank? Drow baccy agen vientio my nadiu climb. What boded this, but well forewarning wind? Did seem to say, seek not a scorpion's nest, nor set no footing on this kind shore. What did I then, but curse the gentle gusts, and he that loosed them forth their brazen cause? and bid them blow towards England's blessed shore, or turn our stern upon a dreadful rock. Yet Aeolus would not be a murderer, but left that hateful office vnto thee. The pretty vaulting sea refused to drown me, knowing that thou wouldst ha me drowned on shore, with tears as salt as sea, through thy vieng kindness. The splitting rocks cowered in the sinking sands, and would not dash me with their ragged sides, because thy flinty heart more hard than they might in thy palace perish a leaner. As far as I could ken thy chalky cliffs, when from thy shore the tempest beat versus Bacchae, I stood upon the hatches in the storm, and when the dusky sky began to rob my earnest gaping sight of thy land's view, I took a costly ewell from my neck, a heart it was bound in with diamonds, and threw it towards thy land. The sea received it, and so I wished thy body might my heart. And ewen with this, I lost fair England's view, and bid mine eyes be packing with my heart, and called them blind and dusky spectacles, for loosing ken of Albion's wished coast. How often ha I tempted Suffolk's tongue, the agent of thy foul inconstancy, to sit and watch me as Ascanius did, when he to madding Dido would enfold his father's axe, comminct in burning Troy. Am I not witched like her, or thou not false like him? I can no more, Dialinor. For Henry weeps, that thou dost liu so long. Noise within, enter Warwick and many commons. War, it is reported, mighty sour rainy. That good Duke Humphrey traitorously is murdered by Suffolk, and the Cardinal Beaufort's means. The commons like an angry hew of bees, that want their leader, scatter VP and down, and care not who they sting in his ruinage. Myself ha calm their spleenful mutiny, until they hear the order of his death. King, that he is dead, good Warwick, 'tis too true. But how he died, God knows, not Henry. Enter his chamber, view his breathless corpse, and comment then upon his sodding death. War, that shall I do, my liege, stay Salisbury with the rude multitude till I return. King, O thou that eagest all things, stay my thoughts, that labor to persuade my soul. Some violent hands were laid on Humphrey's life. If my suspect be false, forgive me God, for judgment only doth belong to thee. Fain would I go to chafe his paly lips with 20,000 kisses, and to drain upon his face an ocean of salt tears, to tell my low vnto his dumb deaf trunk, and with my fingers feel his hand, vn feeling. But all in vain are these mean obsequies. Bed put forth, and to survey his dead and earthy image. What were it but to make my sorrow greater? Warwa, come hither, gracious sour rainy, view this. Bodies. King, that is to see how deep my graw is made. For with his soul fled all my worldly solace. For seeing him, I see my life in death. War, as surely as my soul intends to liu. With that dread king that took our state upon him, to free these from his father's wrathful curse. I do believe that violent hands were laid upon the life of this thrice-famed duke. Seth, a dreadful oath, sworn with a solemn tongue. What instance Jews Lord Warwick for his vow? War, see how the blood is settled in his face. Oft ho I seen a timely parted ghost, of ashy semblance, meager, pale, and bloodless, being all descended to the laboring heart, who in the conflict that it holds with death, attracts the same for idence, gainst the enemy, which with the heart there cools, and near returneth, to blush and beautify the cheek again. But see, his face is blacky, and full of blood. His eyeballs further out than when he liued, staring full ghastly, like a strangled man. His hair vipreared, his nostrils stretched with struggling, his hands abroad displayed, as one that grasped and tugged for life, and was by strength subdued. Look on the sheets his hair, you see, is sticking. His well-proportioned beard, made rough and rugged, like to the summer's corn by tempest lodged. It cannot be, but he was murdered here. The least of all these signs were probable. Suff, why Warwick, who should do the deed to death. Myself and Beaufort had him in protection. And we, I hope, sir, are no murderers. War, but both of you were vowed D. Humphrey's foes. And you, forsooth, had the good Duke to keep. 'Tis like you would not feast him like a friend. And 'tis well seen, he found an enemy. Queen, then you belike suspect these noblemen as guilty of Duke Humphrey's timeless death. Warwa, who finds the heifer dead and bleeding fresh, and sees fast by a butcher with an axe, but will suspect 'twas he that made the slaughter, who finds the partridge in the puddock's nest, but may imagine how the bird was dead, although the kite soar with vein-blouded beak. Ewan, so suspicious is this tragedy. Are you the butcher, Suffolk? Where's your knife? Is Beaufort termed a kite? Where are his talons? Suff, I wear no knife to slaughter sleeping men. But here's a vengeful sword, rusted with ease. That shall be scoured in his rancorous heart. That slanders me with murder's crimson badge. Say if thou darst, proud lord of Warwickshire, that I am faulty in Duke Humphrey's death. Warwa, what dares not Warwick, if false Suffolk dare? Him. He dares not calm his contumelious spirit, nor cease to be an arrogant controller, though Suffolk dare him 20,000 times. Warwa, madame, be still, with reverence may I say. For every word you speak in his behalf is slander to your royal dignity. Suff, blunt-witted lord, ignoble in demeanor, if your lady wronged her lord so much, thy mother took into her blameful bet some stern vein-tutored churl, and noble stock was graft with crabtree slip, whose fruit thou art, and newer of the Newell's noble race. Warwa, but that the guilt of murther bucklers thee, and I should rob the deathsman of his fee, quitting thee thereby of 10,000 shames, and that my sour reign his presence makes me malda. I would, false murderous coward, on thy knee, make thee beg pardon for thy past speech, and say, it was thy mother that thou meant'st, that thou thyself wast born in bastardy. And after all this fearful homage done, Jew thee thy hire, and send thy soul to hell. Pernicious bloodsucker of sleeping men. Suff, thou shalt be waking, while I shed thy blood, if from this presence thou darst go with me. Warwa, away you now, or I will drag thee hence. Vein-worthy though thou art, I'll cope with thee, and do some service to Duke Humphrey's ghost. Exeunt. King, what stronger breastplate than a heart vein-tainted? Thrice is he armed that hath his quarrel east, and he but naked, though locked VP in steel, whose conscience with Aeneastus is corrupted. A noise within. Queen, what noise is this? Enter Suffolk and Warwick, with their weapons drawn. King, why how now, lords? Your wrathful weapons drawn. Here in our presence, dare you be so bold? Why what tumultuous clamour ha we here? Suff, the traitorous Warwick, with the men of Barry, set all vipon me, mighty sour rainy. Enter Salisbury. Salisb, sir, stand apart, the king shall know your mind. Dread lord, the commons send you word by me. Lest Lord Suffolk straight be done to death, or banished fair England's territories. They will by violence tear him from your palace, and torture him with grievous lingering death. They say, by him the good Duke Humphrey died. They say, in him they fear your highness death, and mere instinct of law and loyalty, free from a stubborn opposite intent, as being thought to contradict your liking, makes them thus forward in his banishment. They say, in care of your most royal person, that if your highness should intend to sleep, and charge that no man should disturb your rest, in pain of your dislike or pain of death. Yet notwithstanding such a strait edict, were there a serpent seen, with forked tongue, that slyly glided towards your majesty, it were but necessary you were whacked, least being suffered in that harmful slumber. The mortal worm might make the sleep eternal, and therefore do they cry, though you forbid. that they will guard you where you will or no. From such fell serpents as false Suffolk is, with whose inunimed and fatal sting, your allowing vehemently 20 times his worth, they say is shamefully bereft of life. Commons within, an answer from the king, my lord of Salisbury. Suff tease like the commons, rude VN polished hinds, could send such message to their sour rainy. But you, my lord, were glad to be employed, to show how quaint an orator you are. But all the honor Salisbury hath won is that he was the Lord Ambassador, sent from a sort of tinkers to the king. Within, an answer from the king, or we will all break-ins. King, go Salisbury, and tell them all from me. I thank them for their tender lowing care. And had I not been cited so by them, yet did I purpose as they do entreat. For sure my thoughts do hourly prophecy mischance viento my state by Suffolk's means, and therefore by his majesty I swear, whose far worthy deputy I am, he shall not breathe infection in this air, but 3 days longer, on the pain of death. O Henry, let me plead for gentle Suffolk. King, and gentle queen, to call him gentle Suffolk. No more I say, if thou dost plead for him, thou wilt but add increase vento my wrath. Had I but said, I would ha kept my word. But when I swear, it is irrevocable. If after 3 days' space thou here beest found, on any ground that I am ruler of, the world shall not be ransom for thy life. Come Warwick, come good Warwick, go with me. I ha great matters to impart to thee. Enter. Mischance and sorrow go along with you. Heart's discontent, and sore affliction. Be playfellows to keep you company. There's 2 of you, the duel make a third. And threefold vengeance, tend upon your steps. Suff cease, gentle queen, these execrations. And let thy Suffolk take his hoey low. Queen, fie coward woman, and soft-hearted wretch. Hast thou not spirit to curse thine enemy? Suff a plague upon them, wherefore should I curse them? Would curses kill, as doth the mandrake's groan? I would innuent as bitter searching terms, as cursed, as harsh and horrible to hear, delivered strongly through my fixed teeth, with full as many signs of deadly hate, as lean fact deny in her loathsome caw. My tongue should stumble in mine earnest words. Mine eyes should sparkle like the beaten flint. Mine hair be fixed an end, as one distract. I Uri eint should seem to curse and ban. And you now my burthened heart would break. Should I not curse them, poison be their drink. Gall worse than gall, the daintiest that they taste. Their sweetest shade, a grow of cypress trees. Their chiefest prospect, murdering basilisks. Their softest touch, as smart as lizard stings. Their music, frightful as the serpent's hiss. And boding screech owls, make the consort full. All the foul terrors in dark seated. Cue enough, sweet Suffolk, thou torment'st thyself. And these dread curses like the sun, gainst glass. Or like an hour-charged gun, recoil. And turns the force of them, upon thyself. Suff, you bade me ban, and will you bid me low? Now by the ground that I am banished from. Well could I curse away a winter's night, though standing naked on a mountain top, where biting cold would newer let grass grow, and think it but a minute spent in sport. Oh, let me entreat thee cease, giu me thy hand, that I may do it with my mournful tears. Nor let the rain of Hoenn wet this place, to wash away my waffle monuments. Oh, could this kiss be printed in thy hand, that thou mightst think upon these by the seal, through whom 1,000 sighs are breathed for thee. So get thee gone, that I may know my grief. 'Tis but surmised, whiles thou art standing by, as one that surfeits, thinking on a want. I will repeal thee, or be well assured, adunture to be banished myself. And banished I am, if but from thee. Go, speak not to me, Ewan, now be gone. Oh, go not yet, Ewan, thus 2 friends condemned. Embrace and kiss, and take 10,000 lows. Loather 100 times to part, then die. Yet now farewell, and farewell life with thee. Thus is poor Suffolk 10 times banished. Once by the king, and 3 times thrice by thee. Tease not the land I care for, wert thou thence. A wilderness is populous enough. So Suffolk had thy holy company. For where thou art, there is the world itself. With you sur all pleasure in the world. And where thou art not, desolation. I can no more, lieu thou to I thy life. Myself know I in naught, but that thou liest. Enter Vox. Queen, whither goes Vox so fast, what news I? Proceed. Vox, to signify vientio his majesty. That Cardinal Beaufort is at point of death. For suddenly, a grievous sickness took him. That makes him gasp and stare and catch the air. Blaspheming God, and cursing men on earth. Sometime he talks, as if Duke Humphrey's ghost were by his side, sometime he calls the king. And whispers to his pillow, as to him, the secrets of his hour-charged soul. And I am sent to tell his majesty that you now he cries aloud for him. Go tell this holy message to the king. Exit. I me, what is this world, what news are these? But wherefore grieve I at an hour's poor loss? Omitting Suffolk's exile, my soul's treasure. Why only Suffolk mourn I not for thee? And with the southern clouds, contend in tears. Theirs for the earth's increase, mine for my sorrows. Now get thee hence, the king thou know'st he is coming. If thou be found by me, thou art but dead. Suff, if I depart from thee, I cannot lieu. And in thy sight to die, what were it else? But like a pleasant slumber in thy lap. Here could I breath my soul into the air. As milda and gentle as the cradle babe, dying with mother's dug between its lips. Where from thy sight, I should be raging mad, and cry out for thee to close vp mine eyes. To haw thee with thy lips to stop my mouth. So shouldst thou either turn my flying soul, or I should breathe it so into thy body. And then it leod in sweet Elysium. To die by thee were but to die in east. From thee to die were torture more than death. Oh, let me stay, befall what may befall. Queen, away, though parting be a fretful corrosiu. It is applied to a deathful wound. To France, sweet Suffolk, let me hear from thee. For wheresoe'er thou art in this world's globe, I'll hoe an iris that shall find thee out. Suff, I go, and take my heart with thee. Suff, a ul locked into the wafflest cask. That ewer did contain a thing of worth. Ewan as a splitted bark, so sunder we. This way fall I to death. Ca this way for me. Exeunt. Enter the king, Salisbury and Warwick, to the cardinal in bed. King, how fares my lord? Speak Beaufort. Sour rainy. Ca, if thou be'st death, I'll give you the England's treasure. Enough to purchase such another island. So thou wilt let me lieu, and feel no pain. King, ah, what a scene it is of Ewell life. Where death's approach is seen so terrible. War, Beaufort, it is thy sour rainy speaks to thee. Beau, bring me vientio my trial when you will. Died he not in his bed, where should he die? Can I make men lieu where they will or no? Oh, torture me no more, I will confess. Aliu again, then show me where he is. I'll give you £1,000 to look vpon him. He hath no eyes, the dust hath blinded them. Comb down his hair, look, it stands vpright. Like lime twigs set to catch my winged soul. Give me some drink, and bid the apothecary bring the strong poison that I bought of him. King, O thou eternal mower of the Hohens, look with a gentle eye vpon this wretch. O beat away the busy meddling fiend that lays strong siege vientio this wretch's soul, and from his bosom purge this blacky despair. War, see how the pangs of death do make him grin. Sal, disturb him not, let him pass peaceably. King, peace to his soul, if God's good pleasure be. Lord Cardinal, if thou think'st ye on Hohen's bliss, Hold VP thy hand, make signal of thy hope. He dies and makes no scene, O God forgive you him. War, so bad a death, argues a monstrous life. King, forbear to judge, for we are sinners all. Close VP his eyes, and draw the curtain close. And let V's all to meditation. Exeunt. Alarum, fight at sea, ordnance goes off. Enter Lieutenant, Suffolk and others. Lou, the gaudy blabbing and remorseful day, is crept into the bosom of the sea. And now loud hooling wallows arouse the Iades, that drag the tragic melancholy night, who with their drowsy, slow and flagging wings, cleap dead men's graws, and from their misty eyes, breath foul contagious darkness in the air. Therefore bring forth the soldiers of our prize. For whilst our pinnace anchors in the downs, here shall they make their ransom on the sand, or with their blood stain this discolored shore. Maester, this prisoner freely give I thee. And thou that art his mate, make boot of this. The other Walter Whitmore is thy share. One gent, what is my ransom, master, let me know. Ma, 1,000 crowns, or else lay down your head. Mate, and so much shall you give, or off goes yours. Lou, what think you much to pay 2,000 crowns? And bear the name and port of gentlemen. Cut both the villains' throats, for die you shall. The lius of those which we ha lost in fight be counterpoised with such a petty sum. One gent, I'll give you it, sir, and therefore spare my life. Two gent, and so will I, and write home for it straight. Whittam, I lost mine eye in laying the prize aboard, and therefore to ruinge it shalt thou die. And so should these, if I might ha my will. Lou, be not so rash, take ransom, let him liu. Suff, look on my George, I am a gentleman. Rate me at what thou wilt, thou shalt be paid. Wit, and so am I, my name is Walter Whitmore. How now, why starts thou, what doth death affright? Suff, thy name affrights me, in whose sound is death. A cunning man did calculate my birth, and told me that by water I should die. Yet let not this make thee be bloody-minded. Thy name is Gualtier, being rightly sounded. Wit, Gualtier or Walter, which it is I care not. Newer yet did base dishonor blur our name. But with our sword we whipped away the blot. Therefore, when merchant-like I sell ruinge, broke be my sword, my arms torn in defact, and I proclaimed a coward through the world. Suff, stay Whitmore, for thy prisoner is a prince. The Duke of Suffolk, William de la Pole. Wit, the Duke of Suffolk, muffled VP in ragas. Suff, I but these ragas are no part of the Duke. Lou, but I was newer slain as thou shalt be. Obscure and lowsy swain, King Henry's blood. Suff, the honorable blood of Lancaster, must not be shed by such a iated groom. Hast thou not kissed thy hand, and held my stirrup, bareheaded plodded by my footcloth mule, and thought thee happy when I shook my head? How often hast thou waited at my cup, fed from my trencher, kneeled down at the board, when I ha feasted with Queen Margaret? Remember it, and let it make thee crestfalny. I and allay this thy abhor to you pride. How in our voiding lobby hast thou stood, and duly waited for my coming forth? This hand of mine hath writ in thy behalf, and therefore shall it charm thy riotous tongue. Wit, speak, captain, shall I stab the forlorn swain? Lou, first let my words stab him, as he hath me. Suff, base slaw, thy words are blunt, and so art thou. Lou, canoe him hence, and on our long boat's side strike off his head. Suff, thou darst not for thy own. Lou, pool, sir pool, lord. I cannot puddle sink whose filth and dirt troubles the silver spring where England drinks. Now will I damn VP this thy yawning mouth, for swallowing the treasure of the realmy. Thy lips that kissed the queen shall sweep the ground, and thou that smilledst at good Duke Humphrey's death, against the senseless winds shall grin in vain, who in contempt shall hiss at the again. And wedded be thou to the hags of hell, for daring to affy a mighty lord, Vnto the daughter of a worthless king. hoing neither subject wealth nor diadem. By dealish policy art thou grown great, and like ambitious Scylla hour-gorged, with gobbets of thy mother-bleeding heart, by the Anjou and Maine were sold to France. The false revolting Normans thorough thee disdain to call versus lord, and Picardy hath slain their governors, surprised our forts, and sent the ragged soldiers wounded home. The princely Warwick and the Newells all, whose dreadful swords were newer drawn in vain, as hating thee, and rising VP in arms. And now the house of York thrust from the crown, by shameful murder of a guiltless king, and lofty proud encroaching tyranny, burns with runging fire, whose hopeful colours adduance our half-fact sun, strewing to shine. Veender the which is writ, inuitus nubibus. The commons here in Kent are VP in arms. And to conclude, reproach and beggary is crept into the palace of our king. And all by thee, away canoe him hence. Suff, oh that I were a god, to shoot forth thunder. Vipon these paltry, servile abac drudges. Small things make base men proud, this villain here, being captain of a pinnace, threatens more than Bargulus the strong Illyrian pirate. Drones suck not eagle's blood, but rob behews. It is impossible that I should die by such a lowly vassal as thyself. Thy words move rage, and not remorse in me. I go of message from the Queen to France. I charge thee waft me safely cross the channel. Lose water. Comes Suffolk, I must waft thee to thy deaths. Suff pine gelidus timor occupat artis, it is thee I fear. Well, thou shalt ha cause to fear before I loathe thee. What are ye daunted now will ye stoop? One gent, my gracious lord entreat him, speak him fair. Suffolk's imperial tongue is stern and rough. Vs to command, Vn taught to plead for four. Far be it, we should honor such as these. With humble sweet, no rather let my head stoop to the block, than these knees bow to any. Saw to the god of Hoenn, and to my king. And sooner dance, vipon a bloody pole, then stand Vn coward to the vulgar groom. True nobility is exempt from fear. More can I bear than you dare execute. Lou, hail him away, and let him talk no more. Come soldiers, show what cruelty ye can. Suff, that this my death may newer be forgot. Great men oft die by Vildebizonians. A Roman sorter, and Bandetto slaw. Murdered sweet Tully, Brutus bastard hand. Stabbed Iulius Caesar, Soige islanders. Pompey the Great, and Suffolk dies by pirates. Exit water with Suffolk. Lou, and as for these whose ransom we ha set, it is our pleasure one of them depart. Therefore come you with V's, and let him go. Exit lieutenant, and the rest. Man it the first gent, enter Walter with the body. Well, there let his head, and Leuless body lie. Vn till the queen his mistress bury it. Exit Walter. One gent, O barbarous and bloudy spectacle. His body will I bear Vnto the king. If he ruined it not, yet will his friends. So will the queen, that Lewing held him dear. Enter Buys, and Ion Holland. Buys, come and get thee a sword, though made of a lath they ha been VP these 2 days. Hall, they ha the more need to sleep now then. Buys, I tell thee, Iaki Cade the clothier, means to dress the Commonwealth and turn it, and set a new nap vpon it. Hall, so he had need for teas threadbare. Well, I say, it was newer merry world in England, since gentlemen came VP. Buys, O miserable age, virtue is not regarded in handicraftsmen. Hall, the nobility thinks scorn to go in leather aprons. Buys, nay more the king's counsel are no good. Work amends. Hall, true, and yet it is said, labor in thy vocation, which is as much to say, as let the magistrates be laboring men, and therefore should we be magistrates. Buys, thou hast hit it, for there's no better scene of a braw mind than a hard hand. Hall, I see them, there's best son the Tanner of Wingham. Bueys, he shall haw the skins of our enemies, too. Make dog as leather of. Hall and Dick the butcher. Bueys, then is sin struck down like an ox, and iniquity's throat cut like a calf. Hall and Smith the woer. Bew, Argo, their thread of life is spun. Hall, come, let's fall in with them. Drum, enter Cade, Dick butcher, Smith the woer, and a sire with infinite numbers. Cade, we ion Cade, so termed of our supposed father. But, or rather of stealing a cade of herrings. Cade, for our enemies shall fail before V's, inspired with the spirit of putting down kings and princes. Command silence. But silence. Cade, my father was a Mortimer. But he was an honest man, and a good bricklayer. Cade, my mother a Plantagenet. Butch, I knew her well, she was a midwife. Cade, my wife descended of the Lacys. But she was indeed a peddler's daughter, and sold many laces. Woer, but now of late, not able to troil with her. Ferd Packy, she washes bucks here at home. Cade, therefore am I of an honorable house. But I by my faith, the field is honorable, and there was he born, viender a hedge, for his father had newer a house but the cage. Cade, valiant I am. Woer, a must needs, for beggary is valiant. Cade, I am able to endure much. But no question of that, for I ha seen him whipped 3 market days together. Cade, I fear neither sword nor fire. He need not fear the sword, for his coat is of proofs. But methinks he should stand in fear of fire, being burnt i'th hand for stealing of sheep. Cade, be bra then, for your captain is bra and vows reformation. There shall be in England sewen halfpenny loyus sold for a penny, the 3-hooped pot shall ha 10 hoops, and I will make it felony to drink small beer. All the realmy shall be in common, and in Cheapside shall my palfrey go to grass, and when I am king, as king I will be. All God saw your majesty. Cade, I thank you good people. There shall be no money, all shall eat and drink on my score, and I will apparel them all in one leery, that they may agree like brothers, and worship me their lord. But the first thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers. Cade, nay that I mean to do. Is not this a lamentable thing, that of the skin of an innocent lamb should be made parchment, that parchment being scribbled o'er should viendo a man? Some say the bee stings, but I say, tease the bee's wax, for I did but seal once to a thing, and I was newer mine own man since. How now, who's there? Enter a clerk. Woer, the clerk of Chardem, he can write and read, and cast a compt. Cade, O monstrous. We took him setting of boys' copies. Cade, here's a villain. Has a book in his pocket with red letters int. Cade, nay then he is a cunning. But nay he can make obligations and write court. Hand. Cade, I am sorry for't, the man is a proper man of mine honor, unless I find him guilty he shall not die. Come hither, Sirrah, I must examine thee, what is thy name? Clerk Emmanuel. But they vsc to writ it on the top of letters. Go hard with yous. Cade, let me alone, dost thou vsc to write thy name? Or hast thou a mark to thyself, like a honest plain dealing man? Clerk, sir, I thank God, I ha been so well brought. VP, that I can write my name. All he hath confessed, away with him, he's a villain. And a traitor. Cade, away with him I say, hang him with his pen. And in keyhorn about his neck. Exit 1 with the clerk. Enter Michael. Mitch, where's our general? Cade, here I am thou particular fellow. Mitch, fly, Sir Humphrey Stafford and his brother are hard by, with the king's forces. Cade, stand villain stand, or I'll fell thee down. He shall be encunted with a man as good as himself. He is but a knight, is a Mitch, no. Cade, to equal him I will make myself a knight presently. Rise VP Sir Ion Mortimer, now haw at him. Enter Sir Humphrey Stafford, and his brother with drum and soldiers. Staff, rebellious hinds, the filth and scum of Kent. Marked for the gallows, lay your weapons down. Home to your cottages, forsake this groom. The king is merciful if you ruled. Bro but angry, wrathful, and inclined to blood. If you go forward, therefore yield or Cade, as for these silken-coated slaws I pass not. It is to you good people that I speak. Our whom in time to come I hope to reigny. For I am rightful heir vientio the crown. Staff, villain, thy father was a plaisterer. And thou thyself a shearman, art thou not? Cade, and Adam was a gardener. Bro, and what of that? Cade, marry, this Edmund Mortimer Earl of March. Married the Duke of Clarence's daughter, did he not? Staff, I sir. Cade, by her he had 2 children at one birth. Bro, that's false. Cade, I there's the question but I say 'tis true. The elder of them being put to nurse was by a beggarwoman Stalney away, and ignorant of his birth and parentage, became a bricklayer when he came to age. His son am I, deny it if you can. But nay, 'tis too true, therefore he shall be king. We, sir, he made a chimney in my father's house, and the bricks are aliu at this day to testify it, therefore deny it not. Staff, and will you credit this base drudge's words, that speaks he knows not what. All I marry will we, therefore get ye gone. Bro, Iaki Cade, the D of York hath taught you this. Cade, he lies, for I invented it myself. Go to Sirrah, tell the king from me, that for his father's sake Henry V, in whose time boys went to span counter for French crowns, I am content he shall reigny, but I'll be protector o'er him. Butcher, and furthermore we'll ha the Lord say's head, for selling the dukedom of Maine. Cade, and good reason, for thereby is England and fain to go with a staff, but that my puissance holds it VP. Fellow kings, I tell you, that Lord say hath gelded the commonwealth and made it an eunuch, and more than that, he can speak French, and therefore he is a traitor. Staff, O gross and miserable ignorance. Cade, nay answer if you can, the Frenchmen are our enemies, go to then I ask but this, can he that speaks with the tongue of an enemy be a good counsellor or no? All, no, and therefore we'll ha his head. Bro, well seeing gentle words will not prevail. Assail them with the army of the king. Staff, herald away, and throughout Uri town. Proclaim them traitors, that are VP with Cade. That those which fly before the battle ends may Ewan in their weus and children's sight be hanged VP for example at their doors. And you that be the king's friends follow me. Enter. Cade, and you that allow the commons follow me. Now show yourselves men, tease for liberty. We will not low one lord, one gentleman. Spare none but such as go in clouded shoon. For they are thrifty honest men, and such as would but that they dare not take our parts. But they are all in order, and march toward Versus. Cade, but then are we in order when we are most out of order. Come, march forward. Alarums to the fight, wherein both the Staffords are slain. Enter Cade and the rest. Cade, where's Dick the butcher of Ashford? But here, sir. Cade, they fell before thee like sheep and oxen, and thou behoidst thyself, as if thou hadst been in thine own slaughterhouse. Therefore thus will I reward thee, the Lent shall be as long agone as it is, and thou shalt ha a license to kill for 100 lacking one. But I desire no more. Cade, and to speak truth, thou deservest no less. This monument of the victory will I bear, and the bodies shall be dragged at my horse heels, till I do come to London, where we will ha the mayor's sword borne before V's. But if we mean to three you, and do good, break open the jails, and let out the prisoners. Cade, fear not that I warrant thee, come let's march towards London. Exeunt. Enter the king with a supplication, and the queen with Suffolk's head, the Duke of Buckingham, and the Lord say. Queen, oft ha I heard that grief softens the mind, and makes it fearful and degenerate. Think therefore on ruinage, and cease to weep. But who can cease to weep, and look on this? Here may his head lie on my throbbing breast. But where's the body that I should embrace? Buck, what answer makes your grace to the rebels? Supplication. King, I'll send some holy bishop to entreat. For God forbid, so many simple souls should perish by the sword, and I myself, rather than bloody war shall cut them short, will parley with Ayaki Cade their general. But stay, I'll read it our once again. Ah, barbarous villains, hath this lowly face rolled like a wandering planet o'er me, and could it not enforce them to relent, that were VN worthy to behold the same? King, Lord, say, Ayaki Cade hath sworn to haw thy head. Say I, but I hope your highness shall haw his. King, how now, madam? Still lamenting and mourning for Suffolk's death. I fear me, Lau, if that I had been dead, thou wouldst not ha mourned so much for me. No, my Lau, I should not mourn but die for they. Enter a messenger. King, how now, what news, why comest thou in such haste? Mees, the rebels are in Southwark, fly my lord. Ayaki Cade proclaims himself Lord Mortimer, descended from the Duke of Clarence house, and calls your grace usurper, openly, and vows to crown himself in Westminster. His army is a ragged multitude of hinds and peasants, rude and merciless. Sir Humphrey Stafford, and his brother's death, hath given them heart and courage to proceed. All scholars, lawyers, courtiers, gentlemen, they call false caterpillars, and intend their death. Kin, O graceless men, they know not what they do. Buck, my gracious lord, retire to Killingworth, until a power be raised to put them down. Ah, were the Duke of Suffolk now aliu, these Kentish rebels would be soon appeased. King, Lord, say, the traitors hateth thee. Therefore away with verses to Killingworth. Say, so might your grace's person be in danger. The sight of me is odious in their eyes, and therefore in the city will I stay, and leave you alone as secret as I may. Enter another messenger. Mess, Ayaki Cade hath gotten London Bridge. The citizens fly and forsake their houses. The rascal people, thirsting after prey, eyen with the traitor, and they eintly swear to spoil the city and your royal court. Buck, then linger not, my lord, away, take horse. King, come, Margaret, God our hope will succor these. My hope is gone, now Suffolk is deceased. King, farewell, my lord, trust not the Kentish rebels. Buck, trust no body for fear you betrayed. Say the trust I ha is in mine innocence, and therefore am I bold and resolute. Exeunt. Enter Lord Scales vpon the tower walking, then enters 2 or 3 citizens below. Scales, how now, is Ayaki Cade slain? 1 Sit, no my lord, nor likely to be slain. For they ha won the bridge, killing all those that withstand them. The ill mayor craws eyed of your honor from the tower, to defend the city from the rebels. Scales, such eyed as I can spare you shall command. But I am troubled here with them myself. The rebels ha essayed to win the tower. But get you to Smithfield, and gather head, and thither I will send you Matthew Goff. Fight for your king, your country, and your leus. And so farewell, for I must hence again. Exeunt. Enter Ayaki Cade and the rest, and strikes his staff on London stone. Cade, now is Mortimer lord of the city, and here sitting vpon London stone. I charge and command that of the city's cost, the pissing conduit run nothing but claret wine, this first year of our reigny. And now henceforward it shall be treason for any that calls me other than Lord Mortimer. Enter a soldier running. Soul, Ayaki Cade, Ayaki Cade. Cade, knock him down there. They kill him. But if this fellow be wise, he'll newer call ye Ayaki Cade more, I think he hath a very fair warning. Dick, my lord, there's an army gathered together in Smithfield. Cade, come then, let's go fight with them. But first, go and set London Bridge on fire. And if you can, burn down the tower too. Come, let's away. Exeunt, omnes. Alarums, Matthew Goff is slain and all the rest. Then enter Ayaki Cade with his company. Cade, so sirs, now go some and pull down the saw. Others toth inns of court, down with them all. But I ha a sweet vnto your lordship. Cade, be it a lordship, thou shalt ha it for that. Word. But onely that the laws of England may come out of your mouths. Ion, mass 'twill be sore law then, for he was thrust in the mouth with a spear, and tease not whole yet. Smith, nay Ion, it will be stinking law for his breath. Stinks with eating toasted cheese. Cade, I ha thought vpon it, it shall be so. Away, burn all the records of the realmy, my mouth shall be the Parliament of England. Ion, then we are like to ha biting statutes. Unless his teeth be pulled out. Cade, and henceforward all things shall be in common. Enter a messenger. Mies, my lord, a prize, here's the lord say, which sold the towns in France. He that made versus pay 1 15 and 1 shilling to the pound, the last subsidy. Enter George with the lord say. Cade, well, he shall be beheaded for it 10 times. Ah, thou say, thou surge, nay, thou buckram lord, now art thou within point blank of our jurisdiction regal. What canst thou answer to my majesty? For Guing VP of Normandy VNTO Monsieur Basamcu, the Dauphin of France. Be it known VNTO thee by these presents, you in the presence of Lord Mortimer, that I am the besom that must sweep the court clean of such filth as thou art. Thou hast most traitorously corrupted the youth of the realmy, in erecting a grammar school. And whereas before our forefathers had no other books but the score and the tally, thou hast caused printing to be vest, and contrary to the king, his crown and dignity, thou hast built a paper mill. It will be prewed to thy face, that thou hast men about thee, that visually talk of a noun and a verb, and such abominable words, as no Christian ear can endure to hear. Thou hast appointed eastices of peace, to call poor men before them, about matters they were not able to answer. Moreover, thou hast put them in prison, and because they could not read, thou hast hanged them, when indeed, only for that cause they ha been most worthy to lieu. Thou dost ride in a footcloth, dost thou not? Say, what of that, Cade? Marry, thou oughtst not to let thy horse wear a cloak, when honester men than thou go in their hose and doublets. Dick, and work in their shirt too, as myself for example that am a butcher. Say you men of Kent. Chapter 599, What say you of Kent? Say nothing but this, tis bona terra mala gens. Cade, away with him, he speaks Latin. Say hear me but speak, and bear me were you. Wills. Kent, in the commentaries see Asar writ, is termed the sealest place of all this isle. Sweet is the country, because full of riches. The people liberal, valiant, act to you wealthy. Which makes me hope, you are not void of pity. I sold not Maine, I lost not Normandy. Yet to recower them would loose my life. Eastis with for ha I always done. Prayers and tears ha moved me, gifts could newer. When ha I odd exacted at your hands. Kent to maintain, the king, the realmy and you. Large gifts ha I bestowed on learned clerks. Because my book preferred me to the king. And seeing ignorance is the curse of God. Knowledge the wing wherewith we fly to Hoenn. Unless you be possessed with dealish spirits. You cannot but forbear to murther me. This tongue hath parleyed vnto for any kings. For your behoofs. Cade, tut, when struck'st thou one blow in the field. Say great men ha reaching hands, oft ha I struck. Those that I knew or saw, and struck them dead. Geo, O monstrous coward, what to come behind? Folks. Say these cheeks are pale for watching for your good. Cade, Geo him a box oath ear, and that will make 'em. Red again. Say, long sitting to determine poor men's causes. Hath made me full of sickness and diseases. Cade, ye shall ha a hempen candle then, and the help of hatchet. Dick, why dost thou queer man? Say the palsy, and not fear prouks me. Cade, nay, he nods at V's as who should say, I'll be ewen with you. I'll see if his head will stand steadier on a pole or no, take him away and behead him. Say tell me, wherein ha I offended most? Ha I affected wealth or honor, speak. Are my chests filled VP with extorted gold? Is my apparel sumptuous to behold? Whom ha I inured, that ye seek my death? These hands are free from guiltless bloodshedding. This breast from harboring foul, deceitful thoughts. Oh, let me leave. Cade, I feel remorse in myself with his words, but I'll bridle it. He shall die, and it be but for pleading so well for his life. Away with him, he has a familiar veneer his tongue, he speaks not a god's name. Go, take him away, I say, and strike off his head presently, and then break into his son-in-law's house, Sir Iam's Cromer, and strike off his head, and bring them both upon 2 poles hither. All it shall be done. Say, countrymen, if when you make your prayers, God should be so obdurate as your sellus, how would it fare with your departed souls? And therefore yet relent, and saw my life. Cade, away with him, and do as I command ye. The proudest peer in the realmy shall not wear a head on his shoulders unless he pay me tribute. There shall not a maid be married, but she shall pay to me her maidenhead ere they ha it. Men shall hold of me in capite. And we charge and command that their weus be as free as heart can wish, or tongue can tell. Dick, my lord, when shall we go to Cheapside, and take commodities? Vpon our bills. Cade, marry presently. All obra. Enter one with the heads. Cade, but is not this brower? Let them kiss one another, for they lewd well. When they were aliu, now part them again. Least they consult about the geoing of some more towns in France, soldiers. Defera the spoil of the city till night. For with these born before instead of maces, will we ride through the streets, and at Ewery corner, ha them kiss, away. Exit. Alarum and retreat, enter Agin Cade and all his rabblement. Cade, Fish Street, down St. Magnus corner, kill and knock down, throw them into Thames. Sound a parley. What noise is this I hear? Dare any be so bold to sound retreat or parley? When I command them kill. Enter Buckingham and old Clifford. Buck, I hear they be, that dare and will disturb thee. No, Cade, we come ambassadors from the king. Vnto the commons, whom thou hast misled. And here pronounce free pardon to them all. That will forsake thee, and go home in peace. Cliff, what say ye, countrymen, will ye relent? And yield to mercy, whilst 'tis offered you? Or let a rabble lead you to your deaths? Who lows the king, and will embrace his pardon? Fling his cap, and say, God saw his majesty. Who hateth him, and honors not his father? Henry the Fifth, that made all France to quake. Shake his weapon at and pass by. All God saw the king, God saw the king. Cade, what Buckingham and Clifford are ye so braw? And you base peasants, do ye believe him, will you needs be hanged with your pardons about your necks? Hath my sword therefore broke through London gates, that you should low me at the White Hart in Southwark? I thought you would newer ha gewen out these arms till you had recowered your ancient freedom. But you are all recreants and dastards, and delight to liu in slowery to the nobility. Let them break your backs with burthens, take your houses o'er your heads, roish your weus and daughters before your faces. For me, I will make shift for one, and so God's curse light upon you all. All we'll follow Cade. We'll follow Cade. Cliff, is Cade the son of Henry the Fifth? That thus you do exclaim, go with him. Will he conduct you through the heart of France, and make the meanest of you earls and dukes? Alas, he hath no home, no place to fly to. Nor knows he how to liu, but by the spoil. Unless by robbing of your friends, and versus. Were't not a shame, that whilst you liu at Ira, the fearful French, whom you late vanquished, should make a start o'er seas, and vanquish you? Methinks already in this seawell broil, I see them lording it in London streets, crying Villego Viento all they meet. Better 10,000 base-born cads miscarry. Then you should stoop Viento, a Frenchman's mercy. To France, and get what you ha lost. Spare England, for it is your natty coast. Henry hath money, you are strong and manly. God on our side, doubt not of victory. All, a Clifford. We'll follow the king and Clifford. Cade, was your feather so lightly blown to and fro as this multitude? The name of Henry V hails them to 100 mischiefs and makes them low me desolate. I see them lay their heads together to surprise me. My sword make way for me, for here is no staying. In despite of the deals and hell, ha through the verai midst of you, and hoens and honor be witness, that no want of resolution in me, but only my followers' base and ignominious treasons, makes me betake me to my heels. Exit. Buck, what is he fled? Go some and follow him. And he that brings his head vientio the king shall ha 1,000 crowns for his reward. Exeunt, some of them. Follow me, soldiers, wield you as a mean to reconcile you all vientio the king. Exeunt, omnes. Sound trumpets. Enter king, queen, and Somerset on the terrace. King, was your king that eyed an earthly throne, and could command no more content than I. No sooner was I crept out of my cradle, but I was made a king, at 9 months oldy. Was newer subject long to be a king, as I do long, and wish to be a subject. Enter Buckingham and Clifford. Buck, health and glad tidings to your majesty. Kin, why Buckingham is the traitor Cade suppressed? Or is he but retired to make him strong? Enter multitudes with halters about their necks. Cliff, he is fled, my lord, and all his powers do yield. And humbly thus with halters on their necks expect your highness doom of life or death. King, then Hohen set ope thy everlasting gates, to entertain my vows of thanks and praise. Soldiers, this day ha you redeemed your lius, and showed how well you low your prince and country. Continue still in this so good a mind. And Henry, though he be unfortunate, assure yourselves will newer be vieng kind. And so with thanks and pardon to you all, I do dismiss you to your several countries. All God saw the king, God saw the king. Enter a messenger. Mees, please it your grace to be advertised. The Duke of York is newly come from Ireland, and with a puissant and a mighty power of gallow glasses and stout kerns, is marching hitherward in proud array, and still proclaimeth, as he comes along, his arms are onely to remove from thee the Duke of Somerset, whom he terms a traitor. King, thus stands my state, twixt Cade and York, distressed, like to a ship that hoeing scapt a tempest, is straightway calmy, and boarded with a pirate. But now is Cade drew and backy, his men despirked, and now is York in arms to second him. I pray thee, Buckingham, go and meet him, and ask him what's the reason of these arms. Tell him, I'll send Duke Edmund to the Tower, and Somerset, we will commit thee thither, until his army be dismissed from him. Somerset, my lord, I'll yield myself to prison willingly, or vientio death, to do my country good. King, in any case be not to rough in terms, for he is fierce, and cannot brook hard language. Buck, I will, my lord, and doubt not so to deal, as all things shall redound vientio your good. King, come wife, let's in, and learn to govern better. For yet may England curse my wretched reigny. Flourish, exeunt. Enter Cade. Cade, fie on ambitions, fie on myself that ha a sword, and yet am ready to famish. These few days ha I hid me in these woods, and durst not peep out, for all the country is laid for me. But now am I so hungry, that if I might ha a lease of my life for 1,000 years, I could stay no longer. Wherefore on a brick wall ha I climbed into this garden, to see if I can eat grass, or pick a salad another while, which is not amiss to cool a man's stomacky this hot weather. And I think this word salad was born to do me good. For many a time but for salad, my brain pan had been cleft with a brown bill, and many a time when I ha been dry and brawly marching, it hath sarrowed me instead of a quart pot to drink in. And now the word salad must sarrow me to feed on. Enter Iden. Iden, lord, who would leave you turmoiled in the court. And may enjoy such quiet walks as these. This small inheritance my father left me contenteth me, and worth a monarchy. I seek not to wax great by others' warning, or gather wealth, I care not with what an eye. Sufficeth that I ha maintains my state, and sends the poor well pleased from my gate. Cade, here's the lord of the soil come to seize me for a stray, for entering his fee simple without low. A villain, thou wilt betray me, and get a 1,000 crowns of the king by carrying my head to him, but I'll make thee eat iron like an ostrich, and swallow my sword like a great pin ere thou and I part. Idens, why rude companion, whatsoe'er thou be, I know thee not, why then should I betray thee? Is't not enough to break into my garden, and like a thief to come to rob my grounds, climbing my walls in spite of me the owner, but thou wilt braw me with these saucy terms. Cade, braw thee, I by the best blood that ewer was broached, and beard thee too. Look on me well, I ha eat no meat these few days, yet come thou and thy few men, and if I do not low you all as dead as a door nail, I pray God I may newer eat grass more. Iden, nay it shall ne'er be said, while England stands, that Alexander, Iden an esquire of Kent, took odds to combat a poor famished man. Oppose thy steadfast gazing eyes to mine. See if thou canst outface me with thy looks. Set limb to limb, and thou art far the lesser. Thy hand is but a finger to my fist. Thy leg a stick compared with this truncheon. My foot shall fight with all the strength thou hast. And if mine arm be hoed in the air, thy graw is digged already in the earth. As for words, whose greatness answers words, let this my sword report what speech forbears. Cade, by my valor, the most complete champion that ewer I heard. Steel, if thou turn the edge, or cut not out the burly bond clown in chines of beef, ere thou sleep in thy sheath, I beseech Io on my knees thou mayst be turned to hobnails. Here they fight. Oh, I am slain, famine and no other hath slain me, let 10,000 deals come against me, and gew me but the 10 meals I ha lost, and I defy them all. Wither garden, and be henceforth a burying place to all that do dwell in this house, because the unconquered soul of Cade is fled. Iden, is't Cade that I ha slain, that monstrous traitor? Sword, I will hallow thee for this thy deed, and hang thee ere my Tom, when I am dead. Ne'er shall this blood be wiped from thy point, but thou shalt wear it as a herald's coat, to emblaze the honor that thy master got. Cade, Iden, farewell, and be proud of thy victory. Tell Kent from me, she hath lost her best man, and exhort all the world to be cowards. For I that newer feared any, am vanquished by famine, not by valor. Dies. Chapter 499. How much thou wrong'st me, hoen be my eage. Die, damned wretch, the curse of her that bare thee. And as I thrust thy body in with my sword, so wish I might thrust thy soul to hell. Hence will I drag thee headlong by the heels. Viento a dunghill, which shall be thy gra. And there cut off thy most gracious head, which I will bear in triumph to the king, lowing thy trunk for crows to feed vipon. Enter. Enter York and his army of Irish, with drum and colours. From Ireland thus comes York to claim his right, and pluck the crown from feeble Henry's head. Ring bells aloud, burn bonfires clear and bright, to entertain great England's lawful king. Ah, sanctum maestas, who would not buy thee dear? Let them obey, that knows not how to rule. This hand was made to handle naught but gold. I cannot do action to my words, except a sword or scepter balance it. A scepter shall it ha I a soul, on which I'll toss the fleur-de-luce of France. Enter Buckingham. Whom ha we here, Buckingham, to disturb me? The king hath sent him sure, I must dissemble. Buck, York, if thou meanest well, I greet thee well. Humphrey of Buckingham, I accept thy greeting. Art thou a messenger, or come of pleasure? Buck, a messenger from Henry, our dread liege, to know the reason of these arms and peace, or why thou being a subject, as I am, against thy oath and true allegiance sworn, should raise so great a power without his low, or dare to bring thy force so near the court. Scarce can I speak, my choler is so great. Oh, I could hew VP rocks, and fight with flint. I am so angry at these abac terms. And now like Ax Telamonius, on sheep or oxen could I spend my fury. I am far better born than is the king. More like a king, more kingly in my thoughts. But I must make fair, whether yet a while, till Henry be more weak, and I more strong. Buckingham, I perceive pardon me, that I had genuine no answer all this while. My mind was troubled with deep melancholy. The cause why I ha brought this army hither is to remove proud Somerset from the king, seditious to his grace and to the state. Buck, that is too much presumption on thy part. But if thy arms be to no other end, the king hath yielded vento thy demand. The Duke of Somerset is in the Tower. York, vipon thine honor is he prisoner. Buck, vipon mine honor he is prisoner. York, then Buckingham I do dismiss my powers. Soldiers, I thank you all, disperse your salus. Meet me tomorrow in S. George's Field. You shall ha pay, and every thing you wish. And let my sour rainy, virtuous Henry command my eldest son, nay all my sons, as pledges of my fealty and low. I'll send them all as willing as I lieu. Lands, goods, horse, armor, anything I ha, is his to VSC, so Somerset may die. Buck, York, I commend this kind submission. We twain will go into his highness' tent. Enter king and attendants. King, Buckingham, doth York intend no harm to V's, that thus he marcheth with the arm in arm. York, in all submission and humility. York doth present himself vento your highness. K then, what intends these forces thou dost bring? Yor, to hoe the traitor Somerset from hence, and fight against that monstrous rebelcade, who since I heard to be discomfited. Enter Iden with cad's head. Iden, if one so rude, and of so mean condition, may pass into the presence of a king. Lo, I present your grace a traitor's head. The head of Cade, whom I in combat slew. King, the head of Cade, great God, how east art thou? Oh, let me view his visage being dead. That lewing wrought me such exceeding trouble. Tell me, my friend, art thou the man that slew him? Iden, I was, ant like your majesty. King, how art thou called, and what is thy degree? Iden, Alexander Iden, that's my name. A poor esquire of Kent, that lows his king. Buck, so please it you, my lord, tweer not amiss. He were created knight for his good Sarowis. King, Iden, kneel down, rise VP a knight. We jew thee for reward 1,000 marks. And will, that thou henceforth attend on verses. Iden, may Iden lieu to merit such a bounty. And nor lieu, but true vento his liege. Enter Queen and Somerset. K.C. Buckingham, Somerset comes with Th. Queen. Go bid her hide him quickly from the Duke. For 1,000 Yorks, he shall not hide his head, but boldly stand, and front him to his face. Yor, how now, is Somerset at liberty? Then York vien loose thy long imprisoned thoughts, and let thy tongue be equal with thy heart. Shall I endure the sight of Somerset? False king, why hast thou broken faith with me, knowing how hardly I can brook abuse? King did I call thee? No, thou art not king. Not fit to govern and rule multitudes, which darst not, no nor canst not rule a traitor. That head of thine doth not become a crown. Thy hand is made to grasp a palmer's staff, and not to grace an awful princely scepter. That gold must round and girt these brows of mine, whose smile and frown, like to Achilles' spear, is able with the change to kill and cure. Here is hand to hold a scepter VP, and with the same to acty controlling laws. Giu place, by Hohen thou shalt rule no more. Orete him, whom Hohen created for thy ruler. Soam, O monstrous traitor, I arrest thee York. Of capital treason, gainst the king and crown. Obey audacious traitor, kneel for grace. York, woldst ha me kneel, first let me ask of thee, if they can brook I bow a knee to man. Sirrah, call in my son to be my bail. I know ere they will ha me go to ward. They'll pawn their swords of my enfranchisement. Call hither Clifford, bid him come amain, to say, if that the bastard boys of York shall be the surety for their traitor father. York, O blood-bespotted Neapolitan, outcast of Naples, England's bloody scourge. The sons of York, thy betters in their birth, shall be their father's bile, and bane to those that for my surety will refuse the boys. Enter Edward and Richard. See where they come, I'll warrant they'll make it good. Enter Clifford. And here comes Clifford to deny their bile. Cliff, health and all happiness to my lord the king. I thank thee, Clifford, say what news with thee? Nay, do not fright Versus with an angry look. We are thy sour rainy Clifford, kneel again. For thy mistaking so, we pardon thee. Cliff, this is my King York, I do not mistake. But thou mistakes me much to think I do. To Bedlam with him, is the man grown mad. King, I Clifford, a Bedlam and ambitious humour makes him oppose himself against his king. Cliff, he is a traitor, let him to the tower, and chop away that factious pate of his. He is arrested, but will not obey. His sons, he says, shall gie you their words for him. Will you not sons? Edwa, I noble father, if our words will seru. Rich, and if words will not, then our weapons shall. Cliff, why what a brood of traitors ha we here? York, look in a glass, and call thy image so. I am thy king, and thou a false heart traitor. Call hither to the stake my two braw bears, that with the very shaking of their chains they may astonish these fell-lurking curs. Bid Salisbury and Warwick come to me. Enter the Earls of Warwick and Salisbury. Cliff, are these thy bears? We'll bait thy bears to death, and manacle the Berard in their chains. If thou darst bring them to the baiting place. Rich, oft ha I seen a hot o'erweening cur run backy and bite, because he was withheld, who being suffered with the bear's fell paw, hath clapped his tail between his legs and cried. And such a piece of Sarois will you do, if you oppose your sellus to match Lord Warwick. Cliff, hence heap of wrath, foul indigested lump, as crooked in thy manners as thy shape. Nay, we shall heat you thoroughly anon. Cliff, take heed lest by your heat you burn. Sellus. King, why Warwick, hath thy knee forgot to bow? Old Salisbury, shame to thy silver hair. Thou mad misleader of thy brain-sick son. What wilt thou on thy deathbed play the ruffian, and seek for sorrow with thy spectacles? Oh, where is faith? Oh, where is loyalty? If it be banished from the frosty head, where shall it find a harbour in the earth? Wilt thou go dig a grot to find out war, and shame thine honourable age with blood? Why art thou old, and want'st ye experience? Or wherefore doest abuse it, if thou hast it? For shame and duty, bend thy knee to me. That bows vnto the gra with mickle a. Sal, my lord, I ha considered with the title of this most renowned duke, and in my conscience do repute his grace the rightful heir to England's royal seat. King, hast thou not sworn allegiance vnto me? Sal, I ha. Kai, canst thou dispense with hoen for such an oath? Sal, it is great sin to swear vnto a sin, but greater sin to keep a sinful oath. Who can be bound by any solemnity vow to do a murderous deed, to rob a man, to force a spotless virgin's chastity, to reaw the orphan of his patrimony, to wring the widow from her customed right, and ha no other reason for this wrong, but that he was bound by a solemnity oath. A subtle traitor needs no sophister. King, call Buckingham and bid him arm himself. York, call Buckingham and all the friends thou hast. I am resolute for death and dignity. Old Cliff, the first I warrant thee if dreams prow true. You were best to go to bed and dream again, to keep thee from the tempest of the field. Old Cliff, I am resolute to bear a greater storm than any thou canst conneer VP today. And that I'll write vpon thy burgonet. Might I but know thee by thy housed badge. Now by my father's badge, old Newell's crest, the rampant bear chained to the ragged staff. This day I'll wear aloft my burgonet, as on a mountain top the cedar shows, that keeps his lows in spite of any storm. Ewan to affright thee with the view thereof. Old Cliff, and from thy burgonet I'll rend thy bear. and tread it under foot with all contempt. Despite the bearard that protects the bear. Yo cliff, and so to arms victorious father. To quell the rebels and their complices. Rich, fie charity for shame, speak not in spite. For you shall sup with Isu Christ tonight. Yo cliff, foul stigmatic, that's more than thou canst tell. Rick, if not in Hohen, you'll surely sup in hell. Exeunt. Enter Warwick. War, Clifford of Cumberland, tease Warwick calls. And if thou dost not hide thee from the bear. Now when the angry trumpet sounds alarum, and dead men's cries do fill the empty air. Clifford, I say, come forth and fight with me. Proud northern lord, Clifford of Cumberland. Warwick is hoarse with calling thee to arms. Enter York. War, how now my noble lord, what all afoot? The deadly-handed Clifford slew my steed. But match to match I hoeing cunted him, and made a prey for carrion kites and crows. Ewan of the bonny beast he loud so well. Enter Clifford. War, of one or both of verses the time is come. Hold Warwick, seek thee out some other chase. For I myself must hunt this deer to death. War, then nobly York, tease for a crown thou fight'st. As I intend Clifford to three you today. It grieves my soul to loathe thee assailed. Exit War. Cliff, what seest thou in me, York? Why dost thou pause? York, with thy broad bearing should I be in low. But that thou art so fast mine enemy. Cliff, nor should thy prowess want praise and esteem. But that 'tis shewn ignobly and in treason. York, so let it help me now against thy sword. As I in Eustis and true right express it. Cliff, my soul and body on the action both. A dreadful lay, address thee instantly. Cliff, la fin coron less you means. Thus war hath geun the peace, for why art still? Peace with his soul, Hohen if it be thy will. Enter young Clifford. Cliff, shame and confusion all is on the rout. Fear frames disorder, and disorder wounds. Where it should guard, O War, thou son of hell. Whom angry Hohens do make their minister. Throw in the frozen bosoms of our part. Hot coals of vengeance, let no soldier fly. He that is truly dedicate to war. Hath no self-low, nor he that lows himself. Hath not essentially, but by circumstance. The name of valor, O let the vile world end. And the premised flames of the last day. Knit earth and Hohen together. Now let the general trumpet blow his blast. Particularities and petty sounds. To cease, wast thou ordained, dear father. To loose thy youth in peace, and to atch you. The silver leery of a duist age. And in thy ruerance and thy chair days thus. To die in ruffian battle, Ewan at this sight. My heart is turned to stone, and while 'tis mine. It shall be stony, York not our old men spares. No more will either babes, tears virginal. Shall be to me, Ewan as the dew to fire. And beauty, that the tyrant oft reclaims. Shall to my flaming wrath be oil and flax. Henceforth, I will not ha to do with pity. Meet I an infant of the house of York. Into as many gobbets will I cut it. As wild a Medea, young Apsiedes did. In cruelty will I seek out my fame. Come thou new ruin of oldie Clifford's house. As did Aeneas old Anchises bear. So bear I thee upon my manly shoulders. But then, Aeneas bare a lewing load. Nothing so hoey as these woes of mine. Enter Richard and Somerset to fight. Rich, so lie thou there. For thee underneath an alehouse paltry scene. The castle in S. Albans, Somerset, hath made the wizard famous in his death. Sword, hold thy temper, heart, be wrathful still. Priests pray for enemies, but princes kill. Fight excursions. Enter king, queen, and others. Away, my lord, you're slow, for shame away. King, can we outrun the Hohens, good Margaret? Stay. What are you made of? You'll nor fight nor fly. Now is it manhood, wisdom, and defense. to GU the enemy way, and to secure versus. By what we can, which can no more but fly. Alarum afar off. If you be ta'en, we then should see the bottom of all our fortunes, but if we haply scape, as well we may, if not through your neglect, we shall to London get, where you are lewd, and where this breach now in our fortunes made may readily be stopped. Enter Clifford. Cliff, but that my heart's on future mischief set, I would speak blasphemy ere bid you fly. But fly you must, the incurable discomfite reigns in the hearts of all our present parts. Away for your relief, and we will lee you to see their day, and them our fortune GU. Away, my lord, away. Exeunt. Alarum, retreat. Enter York, Richard, Warwick, and soldiers. With drum and colours. York, of Salisbury, who can report of him? That winter lion, who in rage forgets aged contusions and all brush of time, and like a gallant, in the brow of use, repairs him with occasion, this happy day is not itself, nor hawe when 1 foot. If Salisbury be lost. Rich, my noble father. 3 times today I halp him to his horse. 3 times bestrid him, thrice I led him off. Persuaded him from any further act. But still where danger was, still there I met him. And like rich hangings in a homely house, so was his will, in his old feeble body. But noble as he is, look where he comes. Enter Salisbury. Sal, now by my sword, well hast thou fought today. Byth mass so did we all, I thank you Richard. God knows how long it is I ha to lee you. And it hath pleased him that 3 times today you ha defended me from imminent death. Well lords, we ha not got that which we ha. 'Tis not enough our foes are this time fled, being opposites of such repairing nature. York, I know our safety is to follow them. For as I hear, the king is fled to London to call a present court of parliament. Let these pursue him, ere the writs go forth. What says Lord Warwick, shall we after them? War, after them, nay before them if we can. Now by my hand, lords, 'twas a glorious day. St. Albans battle won by famous York shall be eternized in all age to come. Sound drum and trumpets, and to London all, and more such days as these, to these befall. Exeunt. Finis, the second part of Henry VI, with the death of the good Duke. HVMFREY.